On your left.
On my left. Got it. Don't say it. Don't you say
On
it.
your left.
Come on!
What's up, guys? It's Alex.
It's Quinn.
It's Iconic Comic, and this is On Your Left podcast, episode 8. And we have a very special guest today. It's my buddy Ian.
What's going on, guys?
Serving in the Air Force. He's on leave. We had to get him in because he's got some crazy stories. He had us rolling, holding our sides. Just
like my sides are still split a little bit.
They're still split,
bit.
and the stitches they keep ripping.
They keep opening
up.
You keep opening them up.
Jeez, y'all are building me up too much.
Yeah, so
They're crazy stories, but they ain't good.
I don't know what we should start
Let's
with.
start off with, because we haven't talked about it yet, and we kind of built all the way up to it. Let's recap the fight that happened last Saturday a little bit.
Okay.
So, obviously, we're talking about Mayweather, McGregor.
You still owe me $20, by the way.
we got to break the ice, I guess, with that. Just my quick thoughts. I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a better fight than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be one-sided one way or the other. But I thought up until the end it was pretty good, and then it became a one-sided, Mayweather just tearing him to pieces there. But a lot of that just had to do with Conor's gas tank. But I think he surprised a lot of people.
Definitely. I think he looked like he was meant to be there. Like I had him winning the first 5 rounds.
I had it 4, and then Floyd 5, 6, 7, Conor 8, and then Floyd 9, and obviously 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Floyd did exactly what he wanted to do. Took him to the 10th round, where he knows McGregor has never been before with the UFC. I think at max you're fighting 5-minute rounds.
Mm-hmm. This is the longest McGregor's ever been in a ring.
And here he is just swinging. I mean, just watch a classic Rocky movie. You can see that Rocky just wears the guy down. Once the guy's tired, boom, he goes in and attacks. Exactly what Mayweather did. Went in and attacked. That's how he won.
I really wanted Conor to win, but in the back of my mind, I really didn't think he was going to, which still, like your statement stands. It surprised us all at just how well he did.
When he landed that flush uppercut right to the chin, that's when everybody went like, "Oh shit!
Oh, here it goes! Yeah.
Something could happen here."
Yeah.
I just don't think he threw enough power punches. He really didn't lay into anything. It was a lot of stuff that Floyd was.
Have you guys seen the video? Okay, so I was scrolling on Facebook and then I just saw
pull punch.
He's pulling punches. I don't know. I was like, that's probably bullshit.
See,
but listen.
Go ahead.
When he was punching, a punch was going right for Floyd's face, and then the last second went, just turned, and it didn't connect. Now, when you throw a hook punch, you're throwing a hook punch. You're trying to hit somebody,
right.
But Floyd didn't move and bob and weave like he always does. That one just went. I don't think it was fixed.
No.
But that clip, raised my eyebrows at least.
See, I think a lot of it was just Conor's hesitation to do something stupid. Like, he was really trying to make sure he wasn't going to throw something he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
He did throw a couple hammer fists, but it's not like they were like MMA hammer fists, like just wham. They were just kind of little rabbit punches almost. But oh my god! I'm glad most of our listeners on the audio podcast didn't see what I just did there with my hands. But Floyd also turned his back like 4 times, and you're not allowed to do that in boxing. You're not allowed to turn your back to your opponent. So
that's true.
I kind of think they let a lot of stuff go.
They don't stop the fight, but they break they separate the two. So that was probably a tactic to get a breather.
A tactic because he wanted Conor to kind of like wrap him up so that he could get a breather. Yeah, I don't think Conor got as many breathers as he thought he was because that ref was pretty quick with it. Because some refs, you get in the clinch and he'll let you fight it a little bit and kind of sit there and hang in, get your rest back. This ref was all business. It was like if they clinched up, it was like, nope, let's get back to it, which is probably good, for the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More thoughts?
Yep.
That's all I got. All I know is I won $20. So
That's true.
$20. Will you take a case of Miller Lite?
Now we're 24 pack, bottled, no cans, no.
Bottled, no cans. Fuck that aluminum.
Exactly.
But yeah, overall, good contest. I think the only fight I could see Conor doing again in boxing. Actually, there's two. Honestly, somebody was telling me the other day, it's like, would you be that surprised if within the next year, if it's any more than a year, it's not going to happen, but within the next year, they announce a rematch? Just
that rematch is going to have to be in the octagon.
I don't think
Floyd
will
it's going to
never
happen
go there.
because Floyd is now 50-0, and I think he said he's
that
done.
is a smart level to just
But
stop.
50-1.
That would just irritate me to no end.
They would have to 50-1 would irritate me. 51-0 would irritate me. Like my OCD. They would have to find a way to get so many people excited. More thing is, what they could do is talk about this fight. Like, hey, if Conor gets a gas tank on him, works more like he knows how to fight, really don't spend a ton of time boxing in your camp. Do what Mayweather does. Mayweather doesn't do a lot of sparring. Dude, he's out running 10 miles. That guy he could have went 24 rounds if he wanted to. He is so veteran when it comes to his cardio.
Didn't we say at some point, it's like, with Conor's sparring footage getting leaked and stuff, and then I believe you said, and then Floyd's not sparred a single round in this whole training camp.
Not up to that point. I mean, I'm sure he probably sparred a round, or a match or two, but he was not training as hard as he was for previous fights.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if he ever does boxing again, Conor, I think a really interesting fight that you could hype up, get a lot of money from, and people would actually want to see, and I think it could be a good fight, be him and Paulie Malignaggi. He came into the camp to help him spar him. It looked like Conor effed him up a little bit. It looked like he was a little butthurt about it. And he's been talking trash on Twitter and all this other stuff since. Yeah. So I don't know. That could be a possibility, but I want to see him back in the UFC. I don't want to see him in boxing. That whole night we were watching boxing fights. It was like, oh, this is why I don't watch boxing. Ooh, wow, woof.
Yeah, it can get pretty boring.
Yeah, when they clinch up and they dance around a lot. Now I'm not here to shit on boxing because obviously it's more.
It does that itself.
It's more. No, it's more than what I would do anyway. I mean.
Oh yeah. Oh, they are. The thing I was saying is Conor. The term I use Conor can't box Floyd and win. He has to fight Floyd. And there's a difference. Because fighting him means disregarding the sweet science of boxing and just try to murk him, basically.
Do you think if Conor went in swinging for the fences, every punch is a knockout punch, do you think he would have won?
I don't think it would have lasted as long. Either way.
Tired out.
Either way, it wouldn't have lasted as long. I think Conor actually did one of his best jobs at retaining his gas tank for as long as he did. Because you look at the first Diaz fight, he gassed after one round. He was throwing all power punches trying to knock Diaz out. He hit him maybe twice. They were clean shots, but you got to mess Diaz up a lot more to get him to fall down that big oak tree.
Speaking of Diaz, I thought he was supposed to walk out with Mayweather during the fight. Whatever happened to that?
If he did that.
That would have been hilarious.
Look, I know he's got beef with Conor and whatever, and but I'm sorry. I feel like there's got to be somebody besides Conor representing the MMA side of it, and Dana, because I really liked when the UFC was posting videos of UFC fighters talking about the fight, saying most of them were I think Conor's got it, and that felt really good to see the support because it would have been really shitty to see all these UFC fighters dude, Conor's done. He's a joke. See Aldo say it. Oh, Jose Aldo posted on his Twitter after the fight just a bunch of laughing faces. I went, dude, you got knocked down in 13 seconds.
He helped Conor get his record for fastest knockout.
Conor wouldn't be fighting. Conor wouldn't be fighting Floyd Mayweather if he didn't knock out Aldo in 13 seconds. That's one of the biggest reasons he's where he's at today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But all in all, I feel like it was a good night for both of them. You know, did you see the press conference after the fight?
Oh, yeah.
Where they both were just praising each other?
It was good to see him show respect because at the end of the day, I don't think a lot of people realize, even the people who don't like McGregor, is like, oh, he's an asshole or whatever. Dude, he's just playing the game.
Well, did you ever watch the post-press release videos?
Oh, yeah.
Where they talk to either Mayweather or McGregor, and they're just like, we're just having fun with it, We're advertising, we're trying to make some money.
It's a sell
smart
fight.
thing.
It's selling the fight.
Exactly. I mean, I was pumped. I was pumped all the way back in, that was July that the last one happened? Then we had to wait a whole month till the fight came out?
And, dude, the amount of hype when they were both in their corners and the first bell rang, it was like, honestly, this house felt like it was going to explode for a second. Like, it did. It was like there was so much tension. Like, and then it was almost like that whole first round was surreal. Like, I was like trying to process, is this even happening? Like, are these two fighting right now? This is weird. Like, I'm seeing the best boxer, arguably, of all time.
Definitely
fighting,
the most prolific.
Oh, yeah. And defensively, easily number one.
Oh, yeah.
And fighting Conor McGregor. Like, it's like, am I watching this right now? This seems like I'm skeptical. I'm a skeptical hippo. Yeah, the tension in this house was at an all-time high. When he landed that flush uppercut, just boom, it was like, ooh.
Like, imagine if he put more on that uppercut.
Well, somebody was saying, like, the argument that's been not making me happy is all the stuff. It's like, dude, Floyd let Conor win those first 4 or 5 rounds, and he just toyed with him, whatever. I'm like, you might be right to an extent, but there's no way Floyd's just going to let Conor punch him in the face. He's not going to just say, here, F me up, man. Like, Conor landed 111 punches. That's more than almost every other boxer has landed on Floyd.
How many did Pacquiao fight?
It was in the 80s.
No. Pacquiao, when he fought Mayweather,
landed in the 80s punches. Were you saying when?
No. I thought that was closer to the hundreds.
Here, well,
we need to fact check that.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
And don't look at the fake news, though. Watch out for that.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Floyd Mayweather getting punched. Statistics. I don't know how I look. No,
that's stupid. Just look up by the numbers. Pacquiao versus Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather punch stats versus Pacquiao.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
There you go, man.
There you go, man. All right, Mayweather versus McGregor scorecard. That didn't help me at all. Thanks, buddy.
Nope, close. Close but no cigar.
Here we go. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Full punch stats. Okay. Pacquiao landed 81 punches.
Really? Oh, man. I could have sworn that was more.
Conor McGregor landed more punches. Now, granted, Pacquiao had a messed up shoulder. He had a messed up shoulder. But still, it's Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You got to give Conor some credit. And like they were saying, like, oh, he just let him, Conor, he toyed with him the first couple rounds. You might be right, to an extent. But not to the extent where Floyd's just going to let him punch him.
Right.
Like, Floyd is not, that's points. Those are rounds. What if it got to, now, did you see the official scorecards that came out?
I did not.
They only gave Conor 1 round.
Yeah.
Dude, boxing is so, like, when it comes to judges, I don't think what happens in the ring, like that, I think a lot of what happens is like, okay, we'll let what happens in the ring play itself out, but if it does go to us, there's something fishy there. Well, did you really think they were going to give Conor the decision?
There's
not at all,
now.
Because we all knew that if the Pacquiao Mayweather fight went all 12 rounds, that was definitely going to Mayweather, because that's just how he fights, all defensive. So this one, TKO.
But like I said, I'll give Floyd credit. He did not really fight like Floyd Mayweather. Wow, he did not really fight like Mayweather normally does. Like the first couple rounds he did, but then he tucked his head in and went at him.
Yeah,
and I think it was an early stoppage. I do.
I really do think right now, if it would have went another 5 seconds,
We don't know what could happen.
I do think Floyd would have knocked him out. I do think that. I think he would have just bit the bullet and like suffered hand damage and whatever he had to do to knock him out.
You might be right. You might be. It could have happened.
I think it should have happened.
But let it happen.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let it happen. Like the ref made a good he made a good call
for the safety of the fighter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this type of fight,
this big, like the fight this big.
Let the boys fight.
Like, can you imagine if it was Conor and Aldo and they stopped it standing up?
No.
Dude, people would be... Thing is, and you want zero controversy when it comes to the results of this fight. And we already have 2 points of... Now, the TKO, it's controversial depending on your side of it. If you're a Floyd fan, there's no controversy. If you're a Conor fan, there's a little bit of controversy. But you got the judges' scorecards. Thing is, that's why I wanted to go all 12. It goes all 12, and then those scorecards get released. There's an uproar.
Yeah.
Like in the boxing community, ESPN, they're all talking about those scorecards. Like this is the death of boxing, just showing these. But the fact that he TKO'd him, these scorecards, no one's really going to care. It's like, oh, that's fucked up, but whatever. He knocked him out
Still
anyway.
TKO.
But yeah,
he had not thrown a punch in a long time. He was definitely on the run at that point. I don't think so at all. No.
Ooh,
I was passing out in this chair though. So
oh, you were Dunsky.
You know, it's that ginger and Jack Daniels. You know.
All right. Any other thoughts on the main event of the evening?
No, that's about it. $120 from you.
That'll be our topic changer.
4. Only 4 times, not 5. 4.
All right, show me how it's done.
Professional.
There.
All right, so
what's next on the docket, Quinn?
I don't know. What y'all want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
you're the guest.
You're the special guest.
I don't know if y'all want to hear me talk.
No,
that's why we invited you on here.
It's like if we didn't want to hear you talk, you wouldn't be sitting right here right now.
That's true. I don't know. Let's see. What do you guys want to hear about? See, it's hard to kind of start on something when I'm on the spot like this.
We got to kind of make things organically grow. We forgot about that part of it.
Penises.
You know, it's you shy away. This is a segue into something. You know, we don't know what it goes to.
Go for it. Go for it.
Jeez,
let's just.
He's cracking up over here.
Let's go hard.
I spent a lot of time looking at you. People are gonna start thinking things. You know, maybe I'll look this way. What's up, man? How you doing? Or maybe I'll just look straight ahead. You know. See y'all both looking at me.
The viewer the intimate experience from looking at you.
Jeez, if we had a remote, just zoom in on me.
Be real
serious for a second.
Like what?
Just be like, hey, only you can prevent forest fires.
Oh my god! So penises.
Like that. PSAs? No. What? Penises?
No, he said.
Yes, I know.
Did you think he said
Jesus,
PSAs?
What? No.
Is that what you thought he said?
No, I just changed the subject.
Oh, good.
Well, we can jump right back into penises, you know. Mine is small, but you know what? It can't reach. It sure as hell can shoot. So, you know, it's what you gotta live by sometimes.
Oh wow! Play the hand you're dealt, I guess, Ian.
The poor choice of words.
Exactly. No, that's a perfect choice of words. The hand you're dealt, you gotta play it. You know.
Yeah, I know.
There are no mulligans. You can't just mulligan a hand. You just get something new. Be like, oh, I don't like this either. Go down a card. I don't know. I got real into Magic the Gathering this one time. I was in Japan. You know, there's nothing else going on. Well, what's up, man?
No, I'm good. I'm listening. I'm all
right, cool. Yeah. Should I really delve into the story?
Don't stop now.
All right. Well, I'm already balls deep. Let's continue. All right, cool. Magic the Gathering. Very interesting. I didn't know what the hell it was. Some dude at my unit was talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'm interested. Come back home on leave. It was about December. Someone else was like, oh yeah, I play that all the time. Let's go to a card shop. Let's get some cards. So I was like, all right, cool. I don't know a damn thing. If you want to play Friday Night Magic, apparently you got to be in standard. And it's like a very small window for these cards to be standard. There's about a year's time on all this stuff. So I bought this deck and I thought it was going to be good. And here, we find out that's on the chopping block. It's the first one to go. As soon as I get back to Okinawa, it's January at this point. It's gone. Now I gotta get some standard cards. And, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. Wound up having like $1,000 worth of cards.
Oh my
Wait,
that I don't even
what?
play with now.
All right,
Hold on.
let's take a pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause. Okay, all right.
Is this $1,000 at once or like
No,
over
hell no.
time?
Hell no. Over time. It was like
Okay.
over like a year. And just collecting cards. But this is what I did.
Okay.
Start playing Friday Night Magic, right? And the thing is I was playing against, locals in Okinawa. So when I started beating them, I felt really good about myself. I'm like, man, I'm in the birthplace of the card game. You've got Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, that has come from Japan. Now that I've finally put something together to beat the locals, I'm still getting beat by the closet Magic the Gathering guys. There are a couple guys that that's all they do. All they do is play Magic.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
The closet
this is a
part
boring
thing.
topic.
No, I'm all in.
Yeah, but here's where they're sitting now, in a box under my bed. Haven't been touched in like a year because I don't care about that
So
anymore.
$1,000. So it's like how much
don't
per
know.
deck do you think?
I have no idea. I
I
got maybe
$1,000
2 or
and
3.
you can't remember.
I didn't spend $1,000, but if you look at the value of the cards, then you can
Okay.
sell them for a lot.
Okay.
That's true. You always gotta
There
look at
you
that.
go.
Sometimes you
Now
get
I
just like a
understand what you're talking
plethora
about. They're
of
worth.
just common cards, and those are as useless. I was gonna say toilet paper. But toilet paper is very useful.
There's no
Very
shame
useful.
in
Or anal tissue. You ever seen
Wow.
it labeled as anal tissue before?
Never seen that.
Funniest thing. I've never seen it, but I always thought it'd be funny.
So you just made it up?
No, I saw a box that said facial tissue. I'm like, so what else is there? Anal tissue? That's toilet paper.
I'm gonna start writing that on boxes. I'm
Anal tissue.
Anal tissue.
gonna make a label.
Nah, just get
with a
sticky
label
notes.
maker for all
Sticky
the
notes.
toilet.
Make it look like shit, and just put a sticky note on there. Kind of like how people would dress up as Deadpool and go to the store after Deadpool came out and take sticky notes and put Francis over all the Ajax bottles.
That's hilarious.
That was hilarious. I saw
What's
that and I'm
my
like, this is
name?
perfect.
What's my name? Oh, I'm fucking spell it out for you. God, that movie was good.
All the dead
But
bodies.
There's no shame in collecting a bunch of shit that even when you're older you think is pointless, because at a point in your life
It was important.
it gave you some happiness, probably some stress relief.
That's
That's true.
purpose.
That's true.
Dude.
I don't know,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
sometimes it was very
Yu-Gi-Oh!
stressful.
Used to be my shit though.
Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh! Like
I don't know
watched,
if you could compete with these guys in Japan.
I watched the show. I collected cards, and I probably couldn't compete. with
I did
people in Japan.
both Yu-Gi-Oh
that
and
was,
Pokemon. I still got to give the slight edge to Pokemon just for the nostalgia almost of it. I don't have the Yu-Gi-Oh nostalgia as much because
That's true.
the theme song of Pokemon just kind of
Oh, the
when you-
show. The
Oh,
show
everything.
is different.
Everything.
The card game, I didn't get into the cards.
with Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something about Pokemon though.
The Game Boy game that was awesome.
Game Boy games. I didn't really play those Game Boy games. I didn't play those until I was like
Fuck yeah.
8th grade, maybe high school. But no, when I was in the 2nd grade, we had yearbooks for our school, and you go back and you look at what you wrote up. It said, what was your favorite TV show? And I wrote down Pokemon. And sometimes you cringe when you see a lot of things that you wrote down when you were younger. I was proud of that. You know what? At that time, we would go to the library, get the VHS of Pokemon.
Ooh.
Get the VHS of the first couple of video episodes. And then my favorite was the movie that had Mew and Mewtwo. And it was the fight between like the good Pokemon
Dude.
and the bad Pokemon.
Oh, the
and then,
feels.
oh man, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I haven't seen that movie in
Dude, the scene from
I don't know.
Pokemon where Ash is down in the arena.
And Pikachu's
And Pikachu-
just trying to
Chew!
and
like, all his
everyone's
po-
like, oh fuck.
Well,
everybody
all,
at the
all
same
his,
time. It's like when someone gets
all his Pokemon are out, and they're just like they're all like
Even the bad ones are just like something went down.
Something just went down. Yeah, I have to go back because I haven't done that in a while. I used to always every once in a while pull out my yearbooks.
Okay, wait, I got something more. Okay,
Something more.
Do
important,
you
thanks.
remember-
I love being interrupted.
the Pokemon
Oh, it's always perfect. Man.
where they talked about, or like it was the vacation.
I think so.
So when I was
bouncing.
Okay, so when I was younger, I watched that and I thought it was a whole movie, right? And then, like a few months ago, I watched it again. It's only like 15 minutes long.
Dude, when you watch stuff as a kid...
I thought it was like this drawn-out film production. But it turned out to be like 10, 15-minute short film. Like,
Well, think about just movies in general. When you were a kid, they felt so long, but kids' movies are about an hour and a half. And for movies...
if that.
For movies nowadays, if you're paying money to go see one in the theater, an hour and a half is like, we just got here.
Yeah.
Like, you know... I'm one of the few people who are like, I don't care if a movie's 5 hours long. If it's good, it's good. Like, I will sit in that seat for, like, if when the Lord of the Rings came out, because I saw them all when they came out in the theater. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but they weren't the extended editions. They were just the theatrical editions. And then when the DVDs came out, they were like 4 hours long.
Yo, you
If
gotta watch
they would have
it on
been,
cut.
oh, it's got to be extended now. But
Hell
if they went all in the theater, 4-hour cuts.
Jeez.
You gotta throw an intermission in there, you know?
I think they did. Like,
Movies,
for some.
all
I didn't get
movies
to see
used
those
do
in the
that.
theaters, you know? I didn't get to see those.
Movies and plays still do it, but movies used to do that too. With the intermission, you could go get some more popcorn.
Watch
get some
something
drink.
like Ben-Hur, you know? Wait for Christmas, or
the
for
old
both
one,
Christmas
right?
and Easter time. Yeah, the old one.
Yeah.
The classic has the intermission. They even show that on TV. I'm like, no, why? Is this commercial break?
The one I always remember.
We've been
is
watching
Sound
for
of
2
Music.
hours. We got another 2 to go.
Sound of Music has that intermission in it.
Yep.
But yeah,
Gone
would
with the
you-
Wind. I don't know if you guys had to watch that for a school project.
Would you like an intermission?
It depends.
Like, I don't want
Depends what
I don't want
happens in that
Avengers
intermission.
Infinity War to just
What
like
if that was 4 hours long?
I'm all in.
I'm
all in.
You're gonna sit there. You're gonna hold your piss.
Dude, I will.
During that whole intermission?
I've peed in a movie theater before,
What?
like in a cup.
Huh?
Let's talk about
You-
what
you
we've
don't-
done.
I mean, I got a
You
copy
don't-
right now. I'm thinking about that. You got
You
a bottle
don't.
around here?
You were sitting right next to me. You didn't even know it.
Oh my
You're joking.
Oh!
What movie was this?
This was Avengers: Age of Ultron.
You're messing with me.
I'm not messing with you.
You
Oh,
peed in a
shit.
cup?
Yeah.
It was popcorn.
You're
That's why I
lying.
was salty.
Actually, I've done that before too.
Peed in popcorn?
It's actually a lot
Jeez.
easier than the cup. Because you don't have to
God,
open
alright,
the
I don't know
cup.
if I want to hear this.
No, we're all
Maybe I'll
in
step
now.
away. See, we're
So,
talking about Pete. I'll let y'all discuss this.
So,
This
Age
seems
of
like a personal
Ultron.
thing.
Do you remember how? Remember how?
You go ahead, Ian, if you have
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna step away.
Okay.
Y'all talking about Pete right now, you know? Jeez. Y'all have your little discussion. Jeez.
You peed in the theater during
Okay.
Age of Ultron.
Do you remember how hyped I was for that movie? Like
Yeah.
ungodly hyped, and like it was almost to a ridiculous
I'm
point.
calling bullshit.
So, I'm not kidding you. I had to pee as soon as Tony Stark grabbed his staff, Loki's staff in the beginning, and I was so pissed off. Like, at myself, I looked down at my penis and went, "You motherfucker! You are not going to do this to me tonight." And I held it out as long as I could, and it hit the farm scene. I held it all the way to
my
the
God.
farm scene, and I feel like it took away from my enjoyment a little bit. Even though I loved it, it took away from my enjoyment. Like, could you imagine having to it hurts
Yeah.
to pee for an hour and a half?
Dude, I'm glad, you didn't take a drink after that.
No,
Like,
I
you
I
forgot.
spent the whole time just I'm gonna pee in this cup. Like, I knew it as soon as I'm peeing in it. I'm not missing this movie. So
You planned, as soon as it hit, it's like, I need to drink more and empty this cup because there's pee about to be in
But-
this cup.
this was the genius of it.
Too close.
This was the genius of it. It was an icy cup.
What?
So
With the extra bubble on top?
so the bubble lid with the hole in it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to pull the lid off. I don't have to make a scene. I just kind of scooted a little bit forward in my chair, and I went
Oh,
through
God.
the zipper. I didn't just drop trow or anything, and just kind of I made sure it was a loud part of the movie and just let it go. Honestly, it wasn't as much pee as I thought it was, and it was fine.
Oh my god.
You know what? Can you even be mad? This is kind of genius.
Wait,
Nobody has known about it till this very moment.
hold on.
Alrighty.
Just imagine,
If you look to the right at one wrong moment,
Hold on.
you look down, and then you just look at me like,
You know what?
Straight disappointment.
Make eye contact at that point. I mean,
wait.
It's like who's gonna break first.
So
yeah, pretty much.
So the pee didn't make a noise. There was still ice in it, I guess.
Oh, I poured it like a beer, like up against like 45-degree angle, hitting the cup first right off the bat, and then just slow fill. Wasn't that much.
They call that a tactical piss.
Dude, it was one of the best peas I've had ever too. And dude, the back half of that movie was so awesome. Because like I said, for a half a movie, I was in pain. I had to pee so bad.
All right, well, here's the follow-up to that. What did you do with the cup afterwards? Did you at least go to the bathroom?
I put it under my chair, and then once the movie was over, I just threw it away.
You threw it in the trash can. Your pee.
Yeah.
So, at any point, while one of the workers there is dragging out the bag of garbage, that could have spilled over and been leaking over the bag. Maybe got on his pant leg. Maybe it's like, oh man, garbage juice.
That's a risk I was willing to take.
Not knowing it's your piss.
What if I go into the bathroom?
You take it into a stall, you dump it into a toilet, then you throw it away in there.
That's a smart move. I wasn't really thinking that much in the moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it was right after the end.
You're a wild animal right now. You know that? A wild animal.
The end of Age of Ultron.
Untamed.
I was just high at that point, basically, off that movie. So I was just I wasn't even thinking about the
do you really want to say that kind of stuff on the interwebs?
Now this is the line? Is this the line?
No. The line is pretty far.
Did you take the straw out?
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
Yes, I took the straw
Did
out.
you put the straw back in when you were done?
No. The straw was still on the floor.
It was left on the floor.
Now, obviously.
What theater was this? What theater has ices?
I'm not going to tell you.
That's true. You shouldn't tell us.
Because I don't want anybody to know where this was. I could get in trouble.
Could you? Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
I ain't got tickets no more.
I mean, look, people have probably done way worse in a movie theater.
I've known people to do way worse in the theaters, personal friends.
I didn't involve
that kind of shit. Maybe even taking a shit in the back corner. Couldn't miss the movie. Just
if that happens, dude, how bad that theater would smell. Because it's not human shit is so much different.
I brought egg rolls into a theater once.
You're an asshole.
No, I'm not. I'm a genius.
I don't even care if this
you
is
were there
from
for
the
that.
guy who just.
He's an asshole. You took a piss in the theater.
I threw it in a garbage can.
I never affected.
Trying to make us feel bad.
I never affected a single person in that theater.
And neither did he when he brought in egg rolls.
Incorrect. You bring in any food that isn't movie theater food, you can tell right away. Especially, I've had people bring in Chipotle, and I can hear them ripping open their tinfoil wrappers. I'm like, you pieces of shit.
What, because they're not sharing?
No, because bringing food into a movie theater, in my opinion, is so... It's so...
Are they selling Chipotle at the theater?
No, it's so violating just the... It's like, seriously, when people are like, dude, why are movie theaters charging so much for popcorn? Because if they didn't, there wouldn't be a movie theater here. You know why? Because they make... You know how much they make off the ticket sales? Big fat zero. Movie theaters make nothing off the tickets. It goes straight to the studios. So how do they keep their doors open? How do they make their money? Concessions. So if all you do is sneak food in there, you are not supporting that theater that you love to go to. That's my thought in the process. Also, if you bring in smelly food, you're an asshole.
Because you're not sharing? I had enough to
not
share. There
are
were
not
like
sharing.
15 egg rolls in my pocket.
I had a guy bring in a Tupperware sandwich. 2 seats next to me. And I'm telling you, I'm that guy. I went and got the manager.
Sandwich.
I went, dude, because it was a tuna fish sandwich.
Whistleblower.
Tuna fish sandwich. I went, dude, and I went to the manager. I'm like, I really don't want to be this guy. I hate being this guy, but there's this dude in there with a tuna fish sandwich. This is ridiculous.
Just the look on the manager's face, I would have laughed. The way you just said that.
Laughed at you.
It's like there's a guy in there with the tuna fish sandwich, straight face. I would have laughed.
Have you ever gotten the manager at a movie theater for anything?
No,
I have.
I've told other people to do it.
No, this was
Star
Wars Rogue One. When Star Wars Rogue One came out, we were at a
Spoiler?
theater.
Okay.
No, not even a spoiler.
I'm just kidding.
Before this movie even came on,
Vader.
they had the blue screen. Turns out that this theater was using Windows 98 to run the projector, right? So it showed the blue screen of death. I'm like, oh crap, I want to see this movie. It's opening night. Let's go see this shit.
Well,
So I got the
scared
manager.
shit out of me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Infinity War, like, just zeros and ones, like people will be throwing shit. Like, yeah, oh my god.
You'll have holes in your screens.
Oh.
Yeah, that or whoever's running the projector, you know? But no, that's the only time I ever got a manager. It's like, hey, that's not working. I walked back into the theater, you know, apparently the projector guy dropped a soda or something. He just wasn't paying attention. He made it work.
Oh my
it's all
God.
good.
I'll tell you why. Obviously we like to go to the premieres. One, so we see it as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
We're not going to get it spoiled for us. We were one of the first people to see it. And, you know, we can obviously do our reviews and stuff. But I would say one of the bigger reasons, and I learned this over time, and that's why I rarely go to movies that aren't first night showings anymore, is because when we've went together, it's like, wow, people who aren't opening nighters really don't understand theater etiquette. Like,
Yeah, they don't care.
like talking during the movie. Like, look, I will tolerate talking right up until the first logo goes. Like previews, it's cool. You can even be on your phone during the previews. Whatever, go for it. As soon as they're like the dancing popcorn stops dancing and we're into this thing, everybody needs to shut their holes. Because the whole point of the movie, is it's an experience and it's supposed to suck you in. Because like when I'm watching the Avengers in the movie theater, it's like I feel like I'm there. None of these people are here. It's me and this, and I'm just watching this. As soon as people start talking, I'm out.
Yeah,
that's what I'm focused
Sucked
on.
in.
And it's like I'm third wheeling this movie.
I think what makes me the most angry, it's not what I hear, but like if I'm sitting there and then like 4 rows down, this bright screen just goes.
Oh.
Yeah, you just gotta turn the
That
brightness way
pisses me off.
way down.
Now, even if I know there's turn your phones off, vibrate, whatever. If a phone goes off one time, I'll let it. I'll be like, you know what? Mistakes happen. You know what?
We all forget.
I'm sure it's happened to me before at some point. As soon as it happens more than once, get out. Like,
Yeah.
you've ruined your chance. You should have turned that off as soon as you
You
figured that
know
out.
what makes me even more angry than cell phones and talking?
Food. Like
No.
the rappers.
Babies.
No.
Babies.
Fucking babies.
Dude.
I went and saw Deadpool. Someone brought their baby. I'm like,
Someone brought a kid
Really?
to my Deadpool screening, too.
that and Logan. Someone brought kids into Logan. Like, these are rated R movies. They're saying fuck every other word.
You know what? It's not even that for me, because I went and saw some rated R movies when I was young. Like, probably 8 was my first
Nah, I
rated R
didn't let
movie.
that fly. Not my house.
Here's the thing: if the kid's mature enough to handle it, they're not, and the parent is conscious of it. It's one of those
like they can see all that kind of stuff. They come home, they're not saying those words. They're not acting any more violent.
and it's almost like an educational thing for these kids. It's like, look, we know you're going to see it somewhere.
Right.
We'd rather you see it with us.
You see it now.
If you have questions, you can ask us.
Yeah.
We can.
Don't be like me. I entered high school, very sheltered. Now I'm sitting here and I know things like banana shows and other crazy things.
We'll get
We'll
into
get to
that.
that
Don't worry.
later.
Well, we will get into that.
Oh,
but
boy.
yeah, it's and like it's the like once you get to like 5 and under, they shouldn't even be allowed in the theaters. I don't care what movie it is. I don't even care if it's a kids' movie.
I say 8
Get
and
out.
under.
I went to the like it's a case by case thing. I feel like with some kids.
Yeah.
But I went to see Zootopia. And now look, I know it's a kids movie. I shouldn't
Did
be.
you like the movie?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I shouldn't be complaining like all the kids in my screening like this movie's for us. Now Incredibles 2, there better not be a single kid in that theater. It better all be. It should technically be all people our age.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
mean, if they're gonna make it like to R rating, like Rogue One. You watched Rogue One. That definitely was not meant for the kids. Leave the kids at home for that one. Everybody dies. It's
But
very
I don't
sad.
think that's going to happen in Incredibles 2.
No, that's
I'm
not
more
gonna
saying
happen.
we grew up with it.
Like Incredibles 1, it was like what you just said. We grew up with it. So watching Incredibles 2, it's a different ballgame for kids that are kids now. Like parents may have shown them what the Incredibles were,
Dude, I watched that
but
movie
it's just
so
not the
much.
same. It's not the same.
It's 13 years old. That's bonkers.
Damn, really?
But damn.
I remember seeing that at a drive-in.
I think I saw this at Danbury.
Let me ask
Danbury.
you this.
Danbury Dollar Theater.
What's the longest a sequel, like from the original movie to the sequel, what's the longest amount of time that's ever passed?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That gets shorter and shorter these days.
I don't know. I don't know the exact answer, but like I'm sure Return of the Jedi to Phantom Menace that was 19.
Yeah, it's not a sequel. 19, that's a prequel.
You're right.
What about
right.
What about Dumb and Dumber?
Here's the thing: Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens, because that was technically the sequel to Return of the Jedi, even though there were prequels mixed in there.
Ooh.
So that would be 1983 to 2015.
But do you call that a
so
sequel?
17 plus 15, 32 years.
Do you call that a sequel?
It is. It's a sequel. Empire Strikes Back is a sequel to New Hope.
I guess.
Old Man Luke, Old Man Han Solo.
They always say
Dead Man Han Solo.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Force Awakens,
you have problems if you haven't seen it yet. You obviously don't care about it if you haven't seen it yet.
But I think honestly, when it comes to anything in life, the movie theater is where I have the most pet peeves with other people in like just day-to-day vernacular. It's like, if you're an asshole like on the streets or whatever, bye, I don't gotta see you anymore. But you're stuck with this group of people for 2.5 hours. If you're a civilized group of people,
get your shit together for 2.5 hours and then go be an asshole.
Seriously,
talk about it in the bar,
or when they're sitting there and it's a quiet scene, it's like an interview or something, and then you just hear like a bag of
candy,
Reese's Pieces, just like they're trying to open it without being too obvious, but it's obviously fucking obvious.
I get self-conscious
delaying
about
it. Just open it up quick. Just get done with. No one else is gonna care. They're just gonna be like, oh. Yeah.
I get self-conscious about that because I used to do that, but not in a quiet scene. I would wait till an explosion scene or something. And then,
yes.
But now what I do is if I have any candy or any bags, I open all that shit before the movie. Even if I'm not going to eat it right then, I just have it open so it's ready to go. Have you ever had someone literally answer the phone in the theater?
No.
That's one of the worst things
I think I've had someone
ever.
do that, but then they were talking and like, hey, wait 1 second, I'm in a movie. And then like, walked out.
Somebody in my screening, I don't even know what the movie was. It was probably about 4 years ago. I want to say it wasn't a Marvel movie. It may have been like the second or third time I saw Man of Steel. So it wasn't the first time I saw it. So I was a little less.
How many times did you watch that in theaters?
Like 4. That's nothing, dude. I saw.
It was a good movie.
The first Avengers I saw 14 times in the theater.
Why? That's a lot of money.
Because it's really good. Anyway, guy answers the phone. Like I said, I would have been livid.
Just bonkers.
If it was like the first time I was watching it. But it was a couple times I've watched it, so I was like, you know what? I'm not mad, but I'm just like, really? He answers the phone. He goes, no, I'm not busy. I went, you've got to be kidding me. You've got, like, get out.
It's like, yes, you are busy. Throw candy.
Like, have you ever talked to someone in the theater, like told someone to shut up?
No.
You've never, like, even if they're way behind you, like, you didn't make them aware it was you, just like, shut up! Like, something like that.
No. I've not done that.
I've never done it personally, but I've seen that go down. Ooh.
Awkward?
It's awkward. Now, I would love the opportunity to do it. Like, if you had the theater behind you, like, if you know, like...
Everyone else is pissed.
Like, if it was a first night IMAX Marvel movie, you know 99% of the people in that movie are there for this movie, and it's their life right now.
Well, how loud do you be? Do you, like, quietly call them out? Like, hey, shut the fuck up!
You just bring them close, like, shut up. Listen here, you fuckface. Or, Home Alone, look what you did, you little jerk.
Whole theater's against you, or whole theater's backing you at that point against the other guy.
Thing. If it's like I said, if it's like an opening night, like kind of thing, and there's that one guy, I would feel confident.
Yeah, well, if you see that one guy in the corner, you see a silhouette of a hand, thumbs up going up, you know.
Like if that happened, like Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Of all, what's funny is like I always talk about Marvel movies. I don't think there will be now. Infinity War might. We don't know yet. I don't think there was ever an experience like when Star Wars was back. Yeah. It was like you could feel it in the air in that theater.
That was crazy. I was not even in the United States during all of this, and this was all over the place. And it was all over on base. It was all over off base. You know, just everybody, everywhere was excited about Star Wars coming back.
Oh yeah, I would say it's safe to say Star Wars is the biggest movie franchise.
Now I do have my criticisms of it.
I do too.
Yeah. You know what?
But it definitely brought it back.
What was a fun part was sitting there. How long were we there before the movie?
So we got to the theater at like 5:30. Our movie was at 11. So almost 6 hours before the movie. Even then, we weren't in the front of the line. We were close.
Towards the front.
We were about 5 people back, but we had a group of like 40 people. So.
Jeez,
and this was before
family.
This was before it was just a bunch of friends.
A whole bunch of friends.
This was before
friends of friends.
Where was my phone call?
You were overseas.
No, I actually came home for that. That was me and.
Thanks for calling us. Where was our phone call?
Yeah. Why didn't you invite us?
Huh? Oh shit! I don't know.
But this was before reserved seating, so you had to get there if you wanted to. Like we know we would have gotten in. Right. We know we would have been in there because we bought our tickets months in advance. We know we would have gotten in the theater. We would have gotten a seat. But if you have a group and you want to sit together and you want to get good seats for a movie like Star Wars,
you had to run.
Well, you had to get there 6 hours early, and it was like...
You mean you can't buy that like online early? Like they don't have a chart of the seating?
Back then, you could buy your ticket online, but it wasn't reserved seating.
It was
now
first come, first served.
Now it's reserved seating. See, here's the thing. Most countries... It's all reserved seating.
Right, Japan was reserved seating. That was the first time I ever dealt with that. And I saw Captain America's Civil War. It came out like 2 weeks early here. And then a week earlier in the Philippines. Makes no sense.
Well, because America is not the market that they're marketing towards really anymore.
Right, but seriously,
for
the Philippines,
China's
like
the biggest market movie.
But the Philippines.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They're probably just got some.
It's kind of low out
Philippines.
Captain Philippines.
But yeah,
well, there's a Captain Mexico, right? And a Captain Canada.
And
a Captain Britain.
There's a Captain.
Captain Britain is actually stronger than Captain America.
Captain Britain is almost closer to like
put him
a
in the movie, I guess.
Than he is a super soldier.
Dude, Captain Britain is a BA.
I'd be okay. I'd be okay with him not being in the movies, though.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that too.
I'm not good with the comics. The MCU is what I watch. That's about it.
But America is like the last country to like get our shit together, and it's like, all right, well, because California, Chicago, New York, the big states and cities, they've gotten around to the reserved seating, but it's just now making its way throughout here. Now
they got recliners here, though. That's a plus.
They do.
They have the recliners that don't have those fancy recliner seats in countries like Japan.
I like the recliners for certain movies, but if it's a movie like, we'll just keep bringing it up, Infinity War, I'm not.
You're going to be on the edge of your seat that whole time.
There's no way you can be on the edge of your seat if you're laying all the way back.
It was like
I
Dunkirk.
I'm going to be up
lean all the way back. Edge. Well, I kind of did, but I couldn't get comfortable.
All the movies I feel like we've went to reserve seating for, like when it's like the recliners, have been movies that it's like, yeah, we want to go see them, but it's not like, dude, we gotta go see this. Like those kind of movies. Like, what was one of the other ones we saw? Did we see? I want to say we saw Power Rangers in.
Power Rangers we saw.
Crap, I forgot that was the thing.
Seats.
I feel like if it's not IMAX,
was that movie even good? Like no one's talking about it. They got hyped about it, but no one talked about it.
I think it was.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very.
You know,
we
have a review of it.
You can go check.
Mainly I watch YouTube videos when I'm sitting there trying to jerk off, listening to you guys while I'm trying to jerk off. It's really difficult to do.
Yeah, but
it's difficult.
Yeah, I don't like hearing your voice while I'm trying to get hard.
Why don't you turn us off and watch, I don't know, something else?
No, they're multitasking.
Some lighter fluid.
World news and porn at the same time.
Wait, okay.
Okay,
let's
multitasking.
Back the fuck truck up here.
Okay.
Like world news is in like the magazine or like the website? Like what are you talking about? Like do you
or like
world news? Like they
news.
Stream like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC,
anymore?
CBS. No, nobody does that.
Or, like you don't. No, like not for news, for like Playboys. Like, do you ever use like
No,
magazines,
everything is
books?
digital. Everything is digital.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying.
You know,
I would like to meet someone who's old school.
Like still like. Well, he probably
Custom
has
magazines.
He's got a stack
like a
of
big
nudie
mustache that.
He's got a stack of nudie books about this high, like right under the bed, like right on the mattress. Like the mattress.
No.
I wish
feel
get
like
those
if
classics in there.
I feel like if that person is still to this day old school, and you go in his house and it's nice and neat.
You go into his house, you're not leaving his house.
Things are no. Hold on.
Guys.
Things are nice and straight and neat, and it's like, all right, are you ready? And it's like, yeah. And big wooden doors. You don't quite know what they are.
Yeah.
And then he grabs both handles and it just says something cool.
This reminds me of something from 50 Shades of Grey.
And then
Okay.
opens it up like 2 sliding doors. It's got like a biometric scanner with his eye to unlock it. And then it's just this big long hallway. Like in the Matrix when they get all the guns, it's like all these rows of guns. Porn.
Just nudie mags.
Yeah.
Just all the way
Playboys,
far as the
Hustler.
eye.
It's just
Playboys,
All paper,
Hustler.
not even VHS tapes.
Are those the only
paper.
two?
that's the only ones I know off the top of my head.
Playboys, Hustlers, Playboys.
I don't know what else, but
They play
got
girls,
it.
don't they? For girls.
Yeah, but I mean that's for dudes. I mean,
no, that's for
It's got-
girls.
no,
dudes in
dudes
it.
are in it,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
or
they
gay
make-
dudes. I mean, or
Yeah,
straight
you're-
dudes who like looking at pictures
You know
of
what?
Burt Reynolds all sexy and hairy.
To each their own. To
each
each their own. I don't know how we got on that topic. I'm really
I don't know
confused.
either.
Yo,
but-
this is
but
what's
since-
gonna happen. We're
but
just gonna
since
go
we're
anywhere
there-
with this.
But what I was gonna say, I'll just finish
Because
this
you
thought
talked
real
about a
fast.
video that you guys had, and I said I try not to watch them because it's hard to get hard while listening to you guys and watching porn at the same
I'm so
time.
confused why we're on.
I was
Like,
multitasking, okay?
but like you wait to turn us on until you start.
No, I'm already watching
bad
the YouTube
choice
video.
of words. Bad choice of words.
You're right. But what I was saying earlier about Star Wars, before somehow we veered off into that, was
all right,
we were
changing the subject.
we were
Thought we were going
I'm
somewhere,
changing the subject. Jesus.
Yeah, Quinn, what an asshole.
God, peeing in cups and change the subjects? Jesus, get out. We were talking about how like it was like an experience that I don't know if we'll ever feel again, like the same way, because it was like this.
Are we still talking about the theater?
Oh my god. But like you said, we were at the theater like 6 hours beforehand.
Yeah.
And it was so organized right up until the end. They actually had us, so the way our theater works is it's an AMC, and it's in, well, this is the one we go to for IMAX stuff. It's in like a mall, and the AMC is the top floor of it. So it's you've
I'm
been
sure
there.
you've been.
I've been there
I'm
on the
talking to
opening night
our-
of Star Wars
our viewers.
Episode 3. If y'all remember
Ooh,
when that came
I was. How old do you think I am?
No, I don't know if y'all went to the opening night or not. Well, you know what? I was in the 5th grade at this point. We're going back to your
Solo and the Wookiee. But right, there was an escalator to go up to the top floor of our AMC, and they had us waiting until 30 minutes before our showing at the bottom of the escalator, and our line was wrapped at least 300 feet around the, like, it was, oh my god, it was packed.
So
and that was
many
just
people.
our screening. There were other, like, line A over here for this other screening, line B, line C. So they're like, all right, we're going to take your tickets, you're going to go up the escalator or whatever. I was assuming that meant we're going to get up the escalator and there's going to be some sort of, like, velvet rope system kind of, like, cattling us into the,
Nope.
into the
After
theater.
that, man, said you're kind of on your own after that point.
So we get to the top of the escalator, and I realize, oh, this motherfucker's a free-for-all. It is, dude, I've never
Jeez.
ran so fast in
Stampede?
my life, and this is December, so I got, like, a winter coat on, a hat. Now, it wasn't that cold outside, but I brought it for a good reason. So we had about 40 people deep, so it was like, all right, 3 rows in the middle, about, 10 to 12 people wide.
Doing math in my head.
Yeah, it doesn't equal 40. I'm just spitting out numbers. So
I don't know what
we are running into this thing, and as I'm running in, I'm taking off my hat and my gloves, and I'm throwing them like on seats just to make sure we're like got it staked out. Like, nope, this is ours. Like, I feel like I almost like this girl was like coming down the aisle, and I went hat off, threw it like a grenade.
And you saved the seat.
It just landed, boom, right on the seat, and the girl's like, like no.
feelings hurt.
Anyway, we get there. We were seated like an hour beforehand, so then we're just kind of stewing and the hype slowly bubbling. Whatever, we get our drinks and our popcorn, whatever. That's the thing. That part was the most calm. Right after we knew we had our seats, and then we could go safely get our popcorn, get our drinks, stuff. Mm-hmm. We felt so, but not 100%. There was always that 90%. It's like some fuckface is gonna go in there and steal my seat. I know it. Mm-hmm. I know it. Movie starting.
This was epic. This was an epic experience.
Lucasfilm glistens. It comes up.
Yeah.
Everybody starts. They cheer at first, and then rarely do you see this in movies because, like Marvel movies, as soon as the Marvel logo and stuff starts popping up, it's just a loud cheer, and it'll go till the logo's over for the opening night. Lucasfilm comes up. Yeah, oh my god, whatever. When it goes off. You could hear a pin drop a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. ... And then I've timed it in my head because I know how long it is between the fade and then the bam. It's 3 seconds as soon as it's completely faded. It's 3 seconds. So everybody's like holding their breath. It fades.
3, 2, 1.
That place,
epic.
like the roof went off, and
it was such an uproar.
Like the cheer when Lucasfilm came up was loud. It was like the Bengals scored a touchdown loud. When the Star Wars came on, it was like we won World War III loud. We were dancing in the streets. It was like. Like I feel like I wasn't even cheering. I was just screaming. I feel like that's what it was like.
Loud noises.
And then the first line of the crawl comes up. Luke Skywalker has vanished, and everybody's like, "Ooh!" Like everybody's like, it's like the only time anybody is okay with reading in a movie because subtitles piss me off because it's like, look, I understand you got to have a way to, make sure that I understand what the foreign guy's saying. But if I have to read the whole movie, like, damn, like, I'm focused more on that than I am the movie.
What about parts of a movie where a guy's speaking a foreign language and they don't show subtitles and you're like, man, I really wish I knew what that guy was saying?
My mind enjoys that because I'm trying to see if
you're like the character who doesn't know what they're saying, right?
Well, no, like, what if the character speaks... The other guy speaks the other language too. I've seen movies where they do that, and the filmmaking and direction is so good.
It's on purpose. Like
that
they didn't put
I'm
subtitles
trying to think
on
they
purpose.
did that.
That
in
contextually,
Awakens.
you can
I
figure
feel like
it
they
out.
did that. Did they do that in Force Awakens? I haven't watched it as many times as you guys probably have.
Well, here's the thing. I think it was a bad idea in the prequels that most of the aliens didn't have their own language. In the prequels, most of the aliens spoke English, but they weren't as effective as the aliens in the original trilogy. Like, can you imagine if Jabba the Hutt spoke English? It would not have been effective. There's few characters that it works with, but it's like, honestly, you make Jar Jar speak in a different language, you probably don't hate him as much. Like, because
he had a lot of dialogue though.
His English was
throughout
racy,
all three.
too Jamaican.
Not really in the third one, but in the second one he had dialogue. In the first one he had a lot of dialogue.
It decreased by the movie. By the Revenge of the Sith, I don't think he had a line.
No, it's just there, and you're like, oh damn it!
Oh, there he is.
Here we go again.
Sith Lord.
That fan theory
had to have been.
Well, I don't know.
Look at the evidence, Quinn.
I don't know about that.
Look at the evidence.
Oh, trust me. I don't know about Sith Lord to that full extent, but for sure, we all know that George Lucas had a much bigger plan for Jar Jar. But the reception off the first movie was just so bad that he decided. There's a clip, and it's almost like the soundbite that wasn't meant to be recorded, where you can hear George Lucas in there, like in the storyboard room, saying like, Jar Jar's the key to all of this. And it's like, What if the whole thing was he was a buffoon and all this other stuff, and then it turned like he was the Phantom Menace the whole time?
That would have been crazy.
Like, it gets all the way through. It's like, Darth Sidious. Oh, he's got Count Dooku. Oh, he's got General Grievous. Oh, he's got
Grievous
Darth Maul.
was cool. I think they should have
all the villains were cool, but
no screen time.
Well, Darth Maul, I think, should have been a through line all the way through till Revenge of the Sith.
He was supposed to be.
Well, he was in the Clone Wars.
Exactly, they gave him some robot legs,
and that's canon. So he did live, but it's like, man.
In fact, he lived all the way up to a fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars Rebels.
Oh yeah, that fight's awesome.
And that was the final fight. That was it for Darth Maul.
So it's like the reason that Darth Vader is so good. Can you imagine if they killed Darth Vader at the end of Episode 4? And then,
God awful.
They had a new villain in 5, and then a new villain in 6.
Well, actually, there's a video out there. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's a YouTube page, Belated Media. He had What If Star Wars Episodes 1, 2, and 3 didn't suck. And
I've heard of that. I think I've listened to it. They're long. They're long.
The way that he sets up Star Wars Episodes 1 and 2, it had been a long time before he released Episode 3, but the way he laid out Episode 2, because Episode 2, I love it when the clones show up at the end. That is the most amazing scene. Well, up until Rogue One. But the clones, they just come in as the Jedis were just slowly being slaughtered by all the separatist forces inside the arena. Clones drop in. It's a big battle. All of a sudden, you got the spires going up. You got everybody rolling in. I get excited when I think about
it. I was zoned in.
You're trying to replay it in your mind.
The only problem I have with that fight scene, when they come in, it's awesome. But then the battle following, when it's just a faceless clone army against a faceless droid army, it's like there's really no reason to have stakes in this. There's really no reason to invest.
What's the movie called?
Invest in that.
What's the movie called?
Attack the Clones.
Boom! They finally attacked. Last 20 minutes of the movie, but
I was gonna say
most of it's just a love story. And I'm just sitting there, it's like, come on.
Attack the Clones is by far the worst Star Wars movie.
Yes, but what if it didn't suck?
We wouldn't be having this conversation. Here's the thing: if the prequels didn't suck, I bet you we wouldn't have these new Star Wars movies.
True. I would have loved to see
it tied it off in a nice bow, and then that would have been it.
I'm so happy. You know what? It's worth it because here's the thing: there are parts of each movie that I like. I think Revenge of the Sith is a solid movie. I think solid is like the perfect word. Like, it's not like some great movie, and I don't think it's trash either. It's like it's a solid movie. It's got one of the best fight scenes ever. The Anakin and Obi-Wan fight scene on Mustafar.
That was a great fight scene.
It's just iconic.
What about the intro to the movie? When you just showed the two of them, they're flying. All of a sudden, they go past
the space battle. So awesome.
What do they call those? Federation cruiser? Is that what they're called? The Federation cruiser is what
that sounds like Star Trek. Federation.
No, we got fact check. You got the fact checks over there?
Damn it! I thought it was a separatist cruiser.
No, this is their own cruiser. It was what the clones had. They go past that, and then you're immersed in this massive air battle over Coruscant. And it's a recovery mission. They're trying to get Chancellor Palpatine back. That whole beginning flight.
Federation cruiser, that is in Star Wars, but I'm not sure. It didn't show me. It didn't show me exactly.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to fact check you here.
That opening to Revenge of the Sith is something else. That opening is amazing. Yeah, honestly, there's a good chunk of Phantom Menace that I enjoy. If you cut out all the Jar Jar stuff, it's a solid movie too. And
the final fight in that one was awesome.
What do you think of the pod racing?
I love the pod race scene.
That was on TV yesterday. Phantom Menace was on TV, and the only part that I really watched was pod racing. That was cool.
Honestly,
that was cool.
It's kind of here and here with the Darth Maul battle, the coolest part of the movie. The pod racing is so awesome, and when Anakin he lost the part of his ship and it's flying off, and he pulls it back in, and then it's so cool.
My my thing is, though, in this...
I got a fact check. It was a Venerator class cruiser or destroyer, Star Destroyer, I should say. That's what I was thinking of.
Well, because that's eventually they became the
full-on Star Destroyers. Yeah. They just kind of filled in the pieces, you know.
Just a little point.
It's like they came in, and that's where the hangar doors were, and then they just filled all that in. But a cool part was when the top of those things would open up, things would just come in. Yes, go fuck yourself. I love Star Wars.
I thought you were going to be like,
but I will say this, for how much I love Star Wars, I am very out of the loop with Force Awakens because I just couldn't get into the loop with it to begin with.
Okay, can I just say what I was going to say about the Phantom Menace?
You say what you want to say. Talk about pod racing.
What I was going to say about the pod racing is, like, in the context of Phantom Menace, of the movie, was it a strong point in the movie as a whole? I don't think so. But if you take the pod racing just by itself, it was a really, really fucking cool scene.
Honestly, and this is a personal list, it's in my top 10 scenes, not movies. Top 10 scenes of Star Wars scenes. My top 10 favorite. It's in there somewhere. I don't know. I've never wrote them down. All right, but like if I'm like just naming some off my top 10, it's like when Rey pulls the lightsaber out of the snow in Force Awakens, when Kylo Ren stops a bolt blast, it's like boom. There's so many. There might even need to extend it.
Rogue One, when Darth Vader is dicing up people in that Corellian cruiser,
wrecking shop,
or not even that.
I'm not going to say it's number one because I got to go through like all of them, but that's definitely in the conversation of number one. Like,
that is for me the number one scene because it's so violent. We have never seen violence like that before.
He throws the guy up to the ceiling and then
just slices him in half. I'm like,
actually, my favorite part of the whole thing, and it's very minuscule actually, is when he takes all their guns and he just the way he did. He went here and went, just the way he pulled them in, just whoosh, and all the guns came flying. Then,
dude, okay, no.
And the guy's by the door, and it's
like, help us!
Take the plans, and then right through him and the door, and then right up the other side.
I'd say the best part was when all the lights went out, and you did and you didn't know what was happening, and then all you see and hear is his red lightsaber.
No, you still hear 2 seconds beforehand. You hear the,
and then it's like,
then the music got all intense. So I was like,
and then like we were thinking, it's like, so okay, they're gonna cut it here. This would be a great place to. He's walking now. Okay, this is happening.
Wow. That was the whole way to get into the Corellian Corvette, and then it dropped out of it at the end.
Yep. And he's just standing there in space with the stormtroopers there.
They should have played the Imperial March. They should have played it. They didn't. Like, right when he's like staring off into the distance, like, dun, dun,
the Imperial March didn't exist until Empire Strikes Back.
I think it's music for the movie. It's not like it was happening. Like, it's not like there's background music when they're fighting. Now, it's like, God damn, this music's cool.
Okay, we're talking about that part. What about the part immediately after, while they're running the plans to Princess Leia, and she turns around, and that whole time you've got goosebumps, and you're just like, holy crap, Princess Leia. It's like, here are the plans, and what do they mean?
I think her CGI looked pretty good. I think Tarkin's looked great in my opinion.
That was spooky.
Yeah,
like
his was scary.
There are a few times, and I think it was only when it was like this, like his reflection and when he was looking out the window stuff, where I was like, eh. But when he's just straight talking to Krennic or Vader, he did. Did he talk to Vader?
He didn't talk to Vader.
No, he never talked to Vader. Or when he's talking to just Krennic or like the other officers, it's like, ooh, this feels like you just took, brought him back to life.
I mean, and then you can compare that to other times that they've tried to CGI someone in there. I mean, a younger Jeff Bridges in Tron Legacy. That kind of, you go back.
That one earliest.
Wasn't, yeah.
But that was like one of the earliest versions of that. I mean, look how far we've come.
Oh, yeah.
I actually really like that movie.
I did too. I liked it a lot.
I don't know.
And the soundtrack, just Daft Punk. When they got in the first arena race,
I'm just gonna fuck myself.
Oh my god! Yes, do.
Dude, we're all just excited.
You want to grab me a beer instead?
Damn. The horn's not there. Get the horn out. Oh my god.
Too little, too late. All right,
Too little,
come on,
too
we'll
late.
leave it. We'll leave it. I got my fact check. You know, you gotta be fact check guy. You gotta go on this.
But let's talk about, because you were saying that you weren't completely pulled in by The Force Awakens.
I was not.
Now, my take on The Force Awakens is, I think it's what Star Wars needed to be brought back to not glory yet, but
To the
this is where it needs to
forefront.
be.
And my quote. Do you remember my quote for this movie?
This is the movie.
It was a new hope for a new generation.
I feel like someone had to have
Because
said
a
that
lot.
other than you.
No,
Yeah.
I said that.
I mean,
Quote
we
me.
got a whole new robot, BB-8.
Yeah.
We got a whole new cast of heroes. The old heroes are gone. Han Solo's out of the picture. They need to kill off Princess Leia somehow in this movie just to kind of keep things going.
I heard somebody say, now I don't think they will, but I said, like,
Well, what's
because we
gonna
don't know
do?
what happens. They recasting, and I'm like, don't.
You
don't
cannot.
do
There's
do
no
not.
way.
Now here's the
No
thing.
way.
Somebody,
Especially at this point.
the other thing is, like, if say they didn't have it planned for her to die, maybe she wasn't supposed to die until episode 9, and they filmed, because they filmed the whole thing before she passed. And do you think it's a bit of a disservice to her character to have her just die off screen, and then in the crawl of episode 9, it's like, oh, by the
That's
way,
a
Princess
huge
Leia is dead.
disservice. I mean, there has to be something like a massive attack on maybe a
This is such
rebel
a tough
stronghold.
situation. I do not feel
Do they
for
even
Disney
call
right
themselves
now.
rebels at this point? See, I'm so out of the
They're
loop.
the crap. I can't.
Oh my god.
The Resistance.
Yeah.
The Resistance. Just call yourself the Rebels.
That makes no sense. Like, what? Why would you still call yourself the Resistance?
You're resisting the Empire.
You're resisting
The Empire doesn't
First
exist.
Order.
They
No, but
killed-
the First Order
Or
is
the First Order.
The First Order is controlling a lot of political values of the last day of the Republic. That speech, I'm sorry, some people hated
Yeah,
that.
but they were like hiding on their planet Hoth that then got blown up, like
The
Death
Death
Star 2 and Death Star 1.
Okay.
That movie was almost a cookie cutter copy of A New Hope, and that's why I was not a huge fan of it. And I would much rather see if like a Knights of the Old Republic type of trilogy. Like you go back to where there were a massive amount of Sith versus a massive amount of Jedi, and it
I feel
was
like I've
just
said that
a
exact
crazy
same
battle.
thing before in a video that we've done
Yes, man, well,
when we were watching some.
that's how I felt right on the
Like
heels
an
of Force
anthology
Awakens.
because we
were
because
watching some KOTOR.
They were talking about
KOTOR.
the Han Solo film.
And I got to tell you, I grew up on watching Star Wars. The earliest thing I can remember about Star Wars is when I was 5 years old and we were moving, and I had to stay up at my uncle's house for like a week, and that's all we did was watch Star Wars the whole time, you know? And it was real cool because when Rogue One came out, and went and watched Star Wars with him, and he was all hyped and pumped about General Tarkin and Princess Leia being in there. Darth Vader shows up, dicing people up. I mean, it was great. But I grew up on that and then the prequels. Of course, my favorite game is also Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. No, this new crap just sucks.
Dude, Battlefront 2 looks so much better.
Well, the
new one
Battlefront,
looks
like,
so much better.
because
the
they have
original
space
Battlefront
battles,
1
they
and
have
2.
a story mode, but
What?
they don't have Galactic Conquest, which was a really...
They didn't really
Big
even
thing
have
for
much
me.
of a story mode either.
They didn't have enough
just,
maps. I mean, you look at the maps that they had. Each planet in the first Star Wars game had one planet, 2 maps, right?
Are you
Then
still
you
waiting
get-
to talk?
You get to the second game,
No.
Feel bad.
there was... Each planet had one space battle, one land battle.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like-
Mustafar was my favorite land battle.
You get one planet and there'll be like 4 or like one map, but there are different modes that they have these maps for, like a big one or a small one, just like Battlefield. It's Star Wars Battlefield. That's what it is.
Yeah, and well, in the new Battlefront 2, it's going to be original trilogy stuff and prequel stuff.
I'm so excited
And
about that.
I'm all about having new planets in the new trilogies, and like, but don't be afraid. I would love to see Coruscant again.
Oh
in
yeah,
in the new
Oh, yeah.
trilogy, or to see go back to Cloud City, go back to Bespin. You know, what are some of the we saw Mustafar in Rogue One. for a little bit there when it was Vader's palace. It was on Mustafar.
Yep.
So that's a prequel planet technically. So we kind of saw it again. You know, I don't need to see Tatooine again because we've already seen Jakku. It's basically the same thing. I don't need to see Hoth again. That'd be pointless. What are some other prequel planets? Kashyyyk, the planet of the Wookiees. I want to see that again. He goes back to condole himself after the loss of his best friend. Console himself.
And they're all wiped out.
Dude, biggest problem with Force Awakens, why did Leia hug Rey instead of Chewie at the end? When Chewie lost Han, and because she knew that he died because she felt it in the Force. She knew Han was dead.
Yeah.
Gets off. She never even met Rey before. I'm going to hug this girl. Chewie just walks by. It's like, you bitch. That is Chewbacca. This man has been through him with everything. Like, that might have been sadder than anything. Like, because when Kylo Ren sticks the lightsaber through him, and then you hear Chewbacca roar.
It's like, no.
But then immediately starts just wrecking shop. Just like, you motherfucker. Say hello to my little friend. Ba, 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 ba. And then who does he
so
shoot?
So many people at that point, though. I mean, I believe that Kylo Ren might be a good guy.
Here's my thing on that. If they're going to make Kylo Ren good, then this is the only... if they redeem him like Vader, I will be unhappy. Because
Vader style.
Because Vader, I'm saying just redeem at all. I'm just using Vader as an example because in my opinion, I think he's irredeemable.
Yeah.
You killed Han Solo.
When you're done.
You killed Han Solo. One of the, if not the most popular character in the Star Wars movie franchise that transcends just the Star Wars fans. Everybody knows who Han Solo is. You killed that guy. Vader, he killed some kids. And we didn't even see it on screen. We didn't even see it.
Yeah, we did, the hologram.
We saw him killing some Jedi.
No, he was definitely killing younglings in that hologram. Yes.
I would wager that.
Yeah.
I would wager back my $20 on that one. I thought you were going to do the horn. Alright, go ahead.
Okay. What about the theory when
big screen.
When Han Solo and Kylo Ren are on the catwalk?
I'm going to shut this down if you're about to say what I think you're going to say, I'm going to shut it down immediately.
Go ahead, fucker.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead if you're going to shut it down.
No, it's only if it is what I think it is. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, I don't know now, because now I'm rethinking this whole comment.
Are you going to say Han Solo killed himself? Oh my god. Han Solo did not kill himself. I feel like that is such a ridiculous theory.
Yeah, good. Anyway, my internet sucks. You're going to have to pull it up on yours.
Okay, I'm looking up the...
Just look up Anakin killing younglings.
Some of the worst acting, not because it was his fault, just because it was horrible dialogue. It was like Obi-Wan, where it's like, he was on a hologram or whatever, and I saw him killing younglings.
Yes, he was laughing at that point.
He was kind of laughing, wasn't he?
Yes, because the script was just so bad.
No, not Annie. You're lying. Why would I lie? Like, why would I lie right now? Like, gotcha. He's killing younglings. Anakin.
Here's a fun fact. Did you know Keira Knightley was in Phantom Menace?
She was the doppelganger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go back and watch it, I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see it.
Here we go.
I gotta show the actual
it's
gotta be that one. The one with Yoda in it.
Anakin kills hologram.
Gotta be the one.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah.
Master Skywalker.
It's not on the big screen.
That's okay.
I need it.
This scene's kind of turned into a meme, though. Have you seen that?
Oh,
meme?
that's definitely a meme.
All right, so he's killed. He killed the kids.
Yeah.
He killed all those guys. We'll skip forward. It didn't show the hologram. Where's the hologram? We need the hologram.
We need the hologram.
That's what it's based on. This. Okay, can we talk about real fast how amazing Yoda's saber throw is?
You know, I remember when I saw this in theaters, and it was the scene where he was about to be killed by the clones. And he just jumps around and kills them.
Okay,
Everybody
here
in
we
the theater
go.
was going crazy.
Here we go. Here's the hologram. Those aren't younglings. Those are Jedi. Those are Jedi.
Those are not full Jedi. They're all Padawan. You see the hair thing they got going on?
You said younglings. Younglings are the Master Skywalker. There's too many of them.
Well, you know
what are we
there was
gonna
a
do?
hologram, right?
We'll
Fine.
meet in the middle.
Those look too
They were
tall.
Padawans. They had the Padawan,
Rat tail.
little rat tail, but they weren't like the 3-year-old Jedis. Like they weren't those.
Why weren't those guys out with their masters?
Because they messed us up, dude. Thing is, Yoda's the one. Yoda is all of the very younglings' masters. He takes care of all the younglings.
Yeah, those guys, but the actual ones.
Where was
Padawans.
Yoda?
Like, Yoda?
What's Yoda doing?
Where were you on that
Obi-Wan?
night?
He was
Obi-Wan was with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yoda was on Kashyyyk
You know, well,
with the Wookiees while the Order 66 happened, and then he went back and found Obi-Wan.
that's true, but I mean, from what we've seen between a Padawan and a Jedi Master, it was Obi-Wan with Qui-Gon Jinn, then of course Anakin with Obi-Wan, and
So here's my thing about Force Awakens. I disagree that it's a shot-for-shot New Hope remake. I think it's in... I got this thing here, and this is what I found it. The first... So it's like the first act in The Force Awakens... So let me make sure. Yeah. The first act mirrors the end of the first act of A New Hope. Luke meets Han, departs Tatooine aboard the same ship. You know, we get the BB-8 is very similar to R2-D2 with Leia's Death Star plans, and then the map to Luke.
yeah.
That stuff's very similar, and I think honestly a lot of it was just homage. Good homage. Another thing, it's almost just
Some
like
fan service.
I wouldn't go to as far as say fan service. Really close, just to say like this is in good hands. We know what you want out of Star Wars. We know you don't want Jar Jar. We know you don't want a bunch of CGI. You want practical effects. You want good classic stories, good heroes, that kind of stuff.
I don't gotta say that. Holy crap! The effects in that movie,
Force
on
Awakens.
point.
Oh,
Force Awakens, and then to be followed by Rogue One.
oh yeah, but
Which-
they're going back to the practical costumes, practical
Well, it's got
effects,
the
not
practical
CGI.
with some when the Death Star blows things up. When I don't even know what they call them. What do they call it? Death Planet.
Star Killer Base.
Star Killer Base. That is a dumb name. Star Killer Base.
Isn't
With
Star Killer?
Death Star 2.
I swear, isn't Star Killer
Death
the
Star
name of the name of the main character of the Force Unleashed games? I could be wrong on that. Star Killer. It sounds
I
familiar.
have to fact check that one.
But then it says the middle of Force Awakens is more close to Empire Strikes Back. See, I think Force Awakens was a good amalgamation of all three of the original trilogy movies. So,
Amalgamation. I've never heard that word.
so there's a monster in space,
Amalgamation.
just like the Rathtars when they're on Han's ship.
Yeah.
They release, just like the asteroid worms. All right. Followed by Han deciding to visit an old friend, Maz, Lando. All right.
Yeah.
We also see Kylo contacting Snoke in the same way Vader contacts Palpatine in Empire Strikes Back. So the whole second act was very much like Empire Strikes Back. And to save time, The Force Awakens converges the Luke Dagobah subplot with the Cloud City subplot. Rey goes to a mysterious planet, learns about her origins and destiny, and Maz pulls double duty as a fill-in for Yoda, basically. And just like in Empire, the villains show up, wreck shop, destroy those 5 planets, and Rey is defeated by Kylo Ren, kind of like Luke, first fight, right there,
Were
and
those
then
5
captured.
planets any planets that we actually... I could not
It
tell
looked a
what
lot
those
like
planets were.
Coruscant.
It looked like Coruscant. One looked like Naboo.
Naboo.
Did they
I wish we could
destroy
see some
all
Naboo.
of the prequel planets?
wanna
I
see
want to
some
know that.
Naboo.
Is it like... Is it like
Naboo.
Dantooine?
I want to see some Naboo-D.
Dantooine blows up. Nobody cares. Okay, yeah, it's the homeworld of Princess Leia.
Dantooine didn't blow up.
Or not Dantooine.
Alderaan.
Alderaan.
'Cause
Alright, but
Dantooine
seriously,
was what she
the only
lied
time
about.
we saw... Yep, you're right. got me there.
There we go.
Hold on. When that blew up, I mean, we're just sitting there like, oh, okay. And then when these 5 planets blew up, I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, one looked like Coruscant. And there's like no backstory to it. It's like, oh, hey, just give me a label. Like
That's
at that point, I'm like, hey, give me the label
scene.
of these.
The Alderaan thing, it was way more emotional because you had someone tied to the planet. You had Princess Leia tied to the planet. You had the rebellion tied to the planet. There are millions of people tied to that planet. These 5 planets,
I feel like there could have been some very important scenes to line up the Resistance being either home based on there, maybe they're individuals, which I think I did see in some deleted scenes afterwards. One of the individuals who was like conversing with Princess Leia or General Leia at this point.
That's so badass. General Leia.
General Leia. Was like on one of the planets that got blown up. She's just watching this death beam just coming to the planet and just gone. Fart in the wind.
I feel like they've missed on an opportunity to
fart in the wind.
Fart in the wind.
I feel like they missed out on an opportunity to make the 5 planets blowing up an emotional pull.
Right.
Because it wasn't
just
emotional.
Like it did
it was kind of like, oh shit. But yeah. I don't want... The thing about Rey being a Mary Sue pisses me off more than anything. It's like, I feel like it's right there black and white, and I don't understand why people can't put story points together. It's like, there's no way she should have been able to beat Kylo Ren in that last fight. It's just because she's a Mary Sue and she's good at everything. We've talked about this before, you and me. You and I, sorry.
She's got a high midichlorian count, right?
Oh, God.
Are they moving away from that? Are they done with that now?
We're done with that bull.
Because, I mean...
living organisms, which that's
that
what the
one
Force
chick,
is.
What, Moss? I call her...
Maz Kanata.
I call her butthole eyes, when she takes those glasses off. They had so many dumb characters. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought Maz was a great character.
She was good at speaking. Gave some good backstory. It was like, hey, look... The Force isn't midichlorians.
I think
it's the surrounding thing around us. She's like,
she's the new Yoda. But right. I think the worst character...
Is she dead? Did she die and all that?
No, she's going to be in The Last Jedi. I think the worst character... And now, here's the thing. This doesn't mean that she can't become a great character, because she still can be, but was Captain Phasma. So underused. She was supposed to be the new Boba Fett, and she had, I think they said, about 3 minutes total screen time, if that.
Threw her in the garbage chute.
Yeah, but she's alive. We know she's in the next movie. She got out somehow. But Kylo Ren, right after he kills Han Solo, what happens to him?
We saw what happened. Did they have the real serious lightsaber fight?
No, like before that. Like literally right after he kills him. The second after. He gets shot in the gut by Chewbacca's bowcaster. Yeah. Now, throughout that movie, they were setting up to make that point. They were setting it up like Han taking the bowcaster, shooting it, stormtroopers going flying, blowing up chunks of buildings. Like, this thing packs a wallop, and Han's even like, I gotta get me one of these. Like, just wrecking shop. Shoots Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren takes it like a champ. But this motherfucker's dying. He is bleeding out. He's using every bit of the Force he has to focus on keeping him alive. So, Rey is fighting a guy who is, one, cocky, overconfident, a little whiny. Honestly, I think Kylo Ren,
whiny.
But like, really, how much lightsaber training has he had? Obviously, more than Rey. But still, when you get clipped with a bowcaster, I don't think you're fighting at full potential.
And that's exactly my point.
You're not fighting at full potential.
And here's the other thing, Rey. That's the other theme they set up through the movie. We know she's had experience with combat, with melee-style combat weapons before, with the bow staff. So we know
that's how she survived.
We know she knows how to handle a melee weapon.
Yeah.
So she knows how to fight with some sort of sword or bow staff. There you go. We know she already has a bit of training at some point, probably with Luke at a very young age. Just the way Luke's
just
looking at her.
Just in the subconscious.
And somebody
it came back.
Yeah. And the Force can guide you. Just like Luke. In the first Star Wars movie, it's like Luke had zero lightsaber training. He honed into the Force and blindly blocked those 3 laser blasts like it was nothing. Just bop, bop, bop. And he's like, I just felt it. I felt like I could see it happening. And that's that moment where she closes her eyes and she's holding him off and just locks into the Force, and it just takes over.
Yeah.
So all of it's just combining into that that's the only scenario where she can won. If he wasn't shot by that bowcaster, it probably wouldn't have been a contest.
Would not have been
He
pretty.
probably would have messed her up. And look,
Yeah.
I think The Force Awakens is not a perfect movie, but is the movie that we needed to jumpstart this franchise again. And you don't know how excited I am for Last Jedi. I think that Last Jedi has the potential to be the best Star Wars movie we've ever had because it's so.
It's got to be dark though. It has to be dark.
The lettering, dude, it's red. We've never seen that before. I think as long as we see a scene where kind of like Vader in Rogue One, but with Luke, Wreck Shop, like Jedi Master Luke Skywalker,
with no lightsaber, just Wreck Shop
with the Force, just
the Force, Wreck Shop with the Force.
I got to see the green lightsaber at least once, though.
Like a conductor, just Wreck Shop, and then
or like
Force,
or like one of the most famous covers ever. Luke Skywalker pulling down a Star Destroyer with the Force. It's like, oh my god.
Okay, now I haven't told you this yet, but what if at the end of Force Awakens, I geeked about this. Just what if this happened? You know how Rey was holding out the lightsaber,
Yeah.
just holding it for him, and he was looking at it. What if the last shot was Luke just? It was just a split second, less than a second. He, with the Force, gets the lightsaber, and then cuts. How hype would you be?
Well, then I'd be like, oh shit, he's gonna kill Rey. That's all I would think.
Did you bring the hand? It came with a hand.
Yeah, what happened to all the skin? He had skin last time we saw it, right?
Well, thing is, they've covered this in canon and stuff. Stuff deteriorates.
We're off
really
the record when it comes to canon right now. Throw anything past.
Everything now is canon.
Jedi Returns is gone. All that book wise. You can open up all the books and they're like, hey, this is all what's canon.
Well, yeah, but I'm any books
right there at Jedi Returns and
any books that are
Awakens.
released after Clone Wars and Clone Wars and all the movies. They're all canon, and any book from anything that's released here on out. Battlefront 2 is canon.
Really?
And it's going to be...
Talking about right after Death Star, the second Death Star blows up.
Yes.
And they've got the...
are
they like the Empire's Commandos or something?
Yeah, it's kind of like their SEAL Team 6.
Do you think that's smart, though?
I do. Because I don't think it's going to play a big role into the overall story, but for the deep cut fans, it's going to add just a little bit extra.
Rope me into it, right? Give me a link between the fall of the Empire and the start of the New Order. Give me that link. Give me that link.
Yes, because I think some of these standalone movies.
And let me play that link too.
Some of these standalone movies they're doing, Rogue One. They just announced the Obi-Wan movie that they're going to do it, which is crazy. It's finally happening. I don't. That is as far as I need when it comes to characters. I don't need a Yoda movie. Fuck that noise. I don't want a Boba Fett movie. Boba Fett's way better character with the mystery. Yeah. All right. If you're going to do a movie at all about, do a bounty hunter movie, just in general.
Besides, we've seen enough with the Mandalorians when you watch the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Or make Boba Fett's solo movie be a part of the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
All right. Just because they've obviously dealt with each other before. You can tell.
Right.
All right. But how about we've talked about Old Republic? Do an Old Republic movie or a show, a Netflix series, Game of Thrones style.
Oh my gosh! If they did that,
throw a standalone movie into that 30-year gap we have between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. That's 30 years where they can explore, where they haven't really touched. But they've touched a little bit, right before Force Awakens with some of the books and right after Return of the Jedi, but there's still so much time. Luke, finding the lost Jedi temples, rebuilding the Jedi temples, becoming a Jedi Master. It's stuff that I would just die to see. Now, young Mark, find a guy who looks like a young Mark Hamill, Sebastian Stan, Bucky. You have you seen those pictures where they take his face and put it on Luke's body? It looks just like Mark Hamill.
I have not seen that.
Oh, it's great. I have to pull it up.
I'll pull it up. You want to see it on the big screen? What happened to the big screen? It died.
I think we turned that off.
No, I mean it's there still, but
no, it's not. Okay, that's on, yeah, but I can't see.
I just gotta like Sebastian, Stan, Mark, Hamill. Mark.
What time did we start this?
We are an hour and 30 in.
An hour and 30.
I didn't think.
Man,
I thought honestly, I thought it was longer.
I thought we were going to talk about some dirty stuff, but man, I'm loving the way this conversation is going. I got to tell you, I'm getting some things off my chest about Star Wars.
Crazy.
Pretty damn close.
It's crazy how much his face looks like a young Mark Hamill.
He can fill in the gap.
Go for it.
He can fill in the gap.
Until Disney just completely lays a turd in the bed, like I trust them with most of the decisions. Like if they came out tomorrow and they said that Steve Buscemi is playing, Thanos' brother,
that'd be hilarious.
It's like,
well,
I don't know how on board I am,
but it's Marvel.
But you haven't failed me yet, man.
Are we getting like Boardwalk Empire, Steve Buscemi,
or was it Fargo? Have you seen Fargo?
I have not seen Fargo.
That's a good one.
Don't give me shit. But,
I don't give a shit. You just ruined it. You just killed my buzz. Like with Disney, it's like, look, am I a Disney, fanboy when it comes to most of their properties? Yeah, I know a lot of people who like fucking hate Marvel and hate Star
they hate the MCU.
And
what they've done with it.
Yep, and they hate the new Star Wars movies and stuff. And
oh, you cannot knock Rogue One.
I don't understand.
I know people who hate
that
Rogue
movie
One.
was.
I don't understand what those
so
people do with their life. Which, like, I don't know, like, because we always talk about all this pop culture stuff.
You know what they do?
We're gonna hold hands. Is that what we're doing now? We need to get you
That's what they do in their free time. Absolute bull honky.
I don't think that joke hit as hard as you wanted it to end.
No, it didn't.
I wasn't making I was just saying it, but I pressed that because it was fun. That was louder.
Okay, that's enough. Jeez,
we're losing listeners.
Anyway, so
money floating away at this point. Now this whole thing's pretty much turned into Star Wars, right?
Just you're talking about how it's like these people. What do they do?
Yeah,
pumped up, round up in here.
So I've been in conversation with deep conversations with people, and then people look at us like we have lobsters crawling out of our face, and it's like, well, what do you do with your life?
I know.
It's like work, makeup. I don't know.
We had the same conversation because we watched a video that was like.
Off.
We watched a video that was like interviewing girls who had never seen Star Wars, and like,
were they hot?
I mean, that was not the point. It was like,
I mean, that could be the point.
Like somebody said, it's like describe what do you think the plot is, whatever. It's like three CPO and Han Solo. I think Han Solo is the shiny robot. They go to Mars. And like right there,
close enough,
dude. We were like almost vomiting. Like we were like cringing. It might as well have been a try to cringe challenge. And at the end, you were like,
"So they're mixing Star Wars and The Martian at this point."
This is coming not from a place of judgment, but if you're not into pop culture at all, because that's pop. Star Wars is pop culture. Like they showed they showed a picture of Yoda, and they just said, "Who is this?" And they had. One person said Han Solo. Like you had no. I'm like, look, I feel like there are some questions about Star Wars that you could ask people who have never seen Star Wars, and they could still answer because it's like it transcends just movies. It's pop culture. Like if you showed,
they're so pop
if you
culture,
showed a 3-year-old,
they're on display in the Smithsonian, the National Museum of the United States.
You show a 3-year-old a picture of R2D2, and they haven't seen Star Wars yet. They still know. Well, that's R2D. That's R2D2. Like, that's Yoda. Like, the pointy ear. Like, that's Yoda.
Everywhere.
But you're like, this is not from a place of judgment. But if you don't know anything about pop culture or Star Wars or Marvel or DC, like not just the superhero stuff, but just pop culture, what do you even do? Like, do you just wake up, go to your menial job, come home, hate your stupid life, and then go to sleep and wake up and do the same routine over and over?
You're probably going to lose viewers off of this one. Jeez,
I think the viewers that don't like it. our videos and listen to our podcast are with us at this point.
Or we
be
would have
honest,
lost them on the Star
that's
Wars
true.
talk. 'Cause
There are
we
some people.
We went deep cuts on that.
There's some people out there who absolutely hate Star Wars. They still know who all the characters are, but they love Star Trek more. You know, and
That's
just
fine.
Now,
because
see,
that's fine.
I have
They
more
like the
respect.
political
I have more
trend of
respect for the
Star Trek.
people that have watched it, tried to watch it, maybe got through episode 4, 5, and they just couldn't get through 6, and they're just like, this just really isn't for me.
Because they've seen it and
I
they've
have
tried.
more respect for
Right.
that than people that just
like meat and sushi.
haven't seen it. Like you eating sushi? Have you not tried sushi?
No, I've tried sushi many times in many different places. I
was
got
gonna
it
say,
from like
you've been
I
in
got it
Japan,
so fresh.
huh?
Like they pulled it out the ocean that morning, and that night I'm eating it raw in a sushi roll. I'm
Have
still
you
like
had deep
don't like it.
fried?
Yeah, I've tried many types of sushi in many different places.
You just can't do it.
I can't do it. Just can't do it.
Kroger has good sushi.
Well, you know what?
Speedway.
I don't care. I tried it enough times. No, I ain't trying. I'm not trying to die here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try Speedway sushi.
But yeah, it's like, look, if you try to watch, like, that's what, like I said it the other day, it was a joke. I don't really ask this, but I could, not like first date stuff, but eventually we'd have to get to a point, it's like, look, we gotta watch this. Like, the other day I said, you know, it might as well be a first question I ask when I go on a date is like, hey, have you seen at least
If you go on
some
a
of
date.
have you seen some of the MCU?
It's if you go on a date.
Why did you have to do that?
Okay, because I've been
Damn.
waiting. I've been waiting to burn one of you two to actually have that apply. That horn
Anyway.
apply.
If I
Jeez.
go on a date, I ask some point of the date, at least on the first date, like, have you seen a Marvel movie in the MCU, liked it, or the MCU in general? And if they say
What's
no,
Marvel?
What is Marvel?
It's like, you know what? This has been fun.
like, I'm gay.
I'm gay.
What they respond? You know, like, oh, Detective Comics up in here. And you're like, oh,
They might even be more steep than I am, which is almost a little turn off. It's like,
yeah.
you know,
Then they just
I
like you
need
because
to
you're
be.
not on their speed.
I need to be
Star
the
Trek
alpha.
and
It's like,
what's
wait,
going on over here?
you can out nerd me. This is done already.
I need to be the alpha. You're the beta. This is how this works.
Welcome
But
to 2017. Things aren't like that no more.
I'm kidding.
Get over it.
I know. Look, I know. But trust me, I know. But it's like they go, you know, yeah, I haven't really seen any of the movies where it's like, okay, well,
Then that just gets me excited. Like,
a
yes,
part of me does, but it's like, are you
we go.
interested in watching them? No, I think they look stupid. Well, I think that we can still have a nice time tonight.
What this is.
I think this is as far as this is going to go. But let's not have a bad night. Let's stay friends. Let's finish the meal. Let's have a real fun night.
Stay friends and then fuck her.
Add them on Facebook, then just like delete them the next day, that kind of thing.
See,
Block
I don't
them, they
think
can
that
never
would
add you ever
be
again?
advisable. I think
Nah, that's dumb. That's
I think-
a dumb thing
I
to do.
think
That's
you
a dumb thing to do, Quinn. What do
I
you think
think
of
you
things like
should
that?
wait until the end of the date to say, you know, this really isn't.
It's like, well, why?
Because you don't.
It's
like
like, you know what? You probably don't want me to answer that question.
And that's why you'll never be in a relationship. You think too much of that. See, that was a bad
Wow.
start. That was a bad start to this thing.
Wow. Thanks, man.
Like, oh, if I go on a date with the girl, oh, she's never seen Star Wars or Marvel.
Roast
It's like, I don't care. Yo, just
Roasted,
let it be.
roasted,
Just let it be.
roasted.
That was a very bad example. I had to sit through all that.
Kevin,
My
I
mind's
can't,
wheeling
go,
on
Ian.
other things.
Go,
I'm-
Ian.
Kevin,
Roasted.
I can't. Kevin, I can't decide between a dumb joke and a fat joke. Boom, roasted.
Oh, jeez.
Boom.
But no, the one thing that keeps reeling in my head is when I talk to people who have never seen Star Wars before, and like, it sounds like a hipster thing when they say, "Oh, you should watch it the machete style." I'm like, what the hell? You got a title for a way to watch movies? How about
It's
watch
cool.
it in the order
It's cool.
of release? Okay, watch them as they came out. Watch 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Then watch Rogue One. Oh wait, no. It'd be
Whoa.
Force Awakens, then watch-
I
I know, I'm already trying to just forget Force Awakens, but they're going to continue with that. Oh, God. I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan. I wasn't. It was cool.
You did.
I
You
enjoyed
can't tell
it.
me the Last Jedi trailer did not get you crunk.
Who says that? Stop that shit.
Slightly.
Who says that?
Dude, like, when it pans around and Rey is training with a lightsaber and Luke is watching over her, that shit gave me goosebumps. And then it's time for the Jedi to end. It's like, oh, I think he's kind of becoming a gray Jedi. So it's like in the middle, like he's pulling from the... Because Luke has never been shy from pulling from the dark a little bit. My biggest thing is Return of the Jedi.
You talking about when they got real angry? When he was fighting Darth Vader?
No, even before that.
Playing that music?
Return of the Jedi, when he first walks into Jabba's palace and the Gamorrean guards come up to him, he straight up force chokes them and kills them. You remember, he goes, and they just fall. Whoosh, whoosh, boom, and they fall dead. It's like, that's some dark side Luke right there. And I think that's the smartest thing, because I think full-on Sith or full-on Jedi has been proven neither can survive and work to the full potential. You have to be able to, because I think Mace Windu is even famous for being able to tap into that dark side just for a little bit. That's why some people have theorized he's got a purple lightsaber because red and blue. It's like he's able to kind of weave.
That makes sense.
Now, I think a big part of it was
so
also...
close. She was so close to just
Sam
ending
Jackson
it all.
asked George Lucas...
Anakin fucked it up.
Dude, Mace Windu...
And they'll say he was the chosen one. And then the thing shifted to Luke being the chosen one. Do you think Luke is still the chosen one? At this point, now they've got Luke Skywalker. He was supposed to be the chosen one.
Darth Vader was still the chosen one.
Because
he still defeated the Sith at the end. If anybody effed it up, it was Han Solo and Leia boning. Like if it wasn't for them, Luke would just have a school Jedi, all nice, happy people right now. Thing is,
that's true.
If you're bringing balance to the
I believe Kylo Ren may be one of those in between guys who also went under Snoke.
So you think Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren,
the first time
with the evilness, like Luke is going to go more towards the dark and Kylo Ren's going to go more towards the good side, and just kind of meet in the middle, and then they're staring at each other eye to eye, not physically, but
just on mental level.
Fuck myself.
They just bring the balance to the Force. I don't know, but either way, I just don't believe Kylo Ren is really the bad guy, because that confrontation between Han Solo and Kylo Ren.
I think the first...
I've watched too many Star Wars movies, okay? I know how it goes. I've been through
I know
this
how
rodeo.
it goes too. It's like,
you know? It's like, he's not a bad guy. He says, I need you to help me, because you've got to kill someone who's close to you to advance to be a Sith Lord.
Here's my argument, though. Here's my argument. Every Jedi has their come to Jesus moment, where they either go this way or that way.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Vader had his come to Jesus moment right at the point where he was going to either let Luke die or kill the Emperor. Luke had his when it was, I'm going to kill Darth Vader right now and finish the job, or throw the lightsaber to the side and say, never. I will never turn to the dark side. You got your come to Jesus moment right there. Do I kill my dad, or do I embrace him right now and we fight the Sith together? Now, I'm not saying he can't. He may be redeemed, and I don't like it. But my only thing is, and there's been theories about how this could be possible. If they turn Kylo to the good, they got to turn Rey like that. How bananas would that be?
I don't know. I don't know if they could turn her like that, though.
I'm not saying like they need to be prepared. Not like in the moment. She's just like, the fuck this? Dude, I had a force lightning? I'm out.
It's like, wait. You said lightning?
Darkseid has way better force powers. It's way cooler. But could you imagine if the end of The Last Jedi ended with Rey on the dark end and Kylo on the light? That would be such a complete mind F, and that would be so ballsy by Disney. Even the people that did not like Force Awakens at all would be like, I kind of got to give it to Disney. That was ballsy. Because it's like, you take this character who all these little girls are looking up to. She is the heroine of the century. And it's
I don't know. Is this a Star Wars that's directed by Christopher Nolan?
No, but it's Rian Johnson. That would be interesting.
No, if
though.
you have
like
a whole
standalone,
Christopher Nolan,
not a saga film, but a
Dude.
standalone Christopher Nolan war style Knights of the Old Republic.
Wow. Christopher Nolan, if you ever see this, please give us a Star Wars Old Republic trilogy. I would love that. That'd be great. Make some money.
whole trilogy.
A fucking trilogy.
Damn.
Now
Whole
you want
trilogy.
the
I want
Obi-Wan?
No, I want the whole damn
I was saying,
series.
you want Obi-Wan to be a trilogy or just a standalone?
That'd have to be a standalone. Why give him a trilogy?
Damn.
What the hell are you gonna do? He's been in 4 Star Wars movies. We followed
But
his
there's
story.
a 30-year gap. Sorry, not 30 year. Sorry, 20-year
That
gap.
is filled by a TV show. That is canon.
It's not filled by a TV show. There's 10 minutes of his life that's right in the TV show, right before, and that show takes place literally, like, right before.
Well, you know
A
what
New
he
Hope.
did that whole time? He spoke to Qui-Gon Jinn.
We don't know if that's all he did. We're gonna have to find out.
Well, you know what? That's what Yoda left
we don't
us
even.
with.
We don't even know.
He
If
said an old...
Obi-Wan could have left Tatooine for periods of time, done some secret Jedi missions that we didn't know about.
Nah,
trying to
his ass is hiding on Tatooine.
We don't know that.
Did you not see the sick pad he had up there?
We don't know that though. Why would they make him?
Why
you
does he
think
know
they're
so
gonna?
much about the...
You think they're gonna make an Obi-Wan movie, and he's just chilling on Tatooine, watching over 6-year-old Luke? No one's buying that bullshit.
Why does he know so much about the Tusken Raiders?
What?
I don't know.
I could pick up on that in 10 minutes living on Tatooine. Like, oh,
Well,
those guys
you
look
know
like
what?
bad news bears over there.
Obviously, Luke Skywalker didn't know a damn thing about these people.
What if Darth Maul
Because
came?
he's an idiot. I thought we were going to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters. Like,
Dude, you ever seen the deleted scenes from the
What if
fourth
Darth
movie?
Maul came back during that
fourth?
time
From the
period?
4th movie. Have you seen this before?
What if Darth Maul came back during that time period,
He did.
and then, like, they
They fought. Darth Maul
they
died.
fought again,
Took the hand of
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
and then Darth Maul left, and then he came back again in Rebels.
so like a
Here, somebody on Jedi Council over at Collider talked about this, and I'm all in on this. They said villain for the Obi-Wan movie, Darth Vader. He fights Darth Vader because it would still be canon, and Darth Vader thinks that he defeated Obi-Wan. Because he knows that Obi-Wan's still alive, right? He knows he is.
Yeah.
At the end of Revenge of the Sith, because he wasn't the one on fire. Obi-Wan walked away. So he knows Obi-Wan's out there somewhere. So he goes after Obi-Wan. I don't know the logistics. Fights him, thinks he's killed him, and he's done. And then picks up in New Hope a sense of presence that I haven't felt since.
And then he just trails off and walks
Boom.
away.
And it's like the last time we wed, I was
Last time
about to learn her.
I was armless and legless sitting next to a lava river
And now
burning up.
I am the master. There's your movie right there, man. Like it's
We already seen it.
just- you don't
He doesn't need a standalone. He does not need a standalone.
Obi-Wan?
He does no. He doesn't need one. Why the hell are we giving standalones to every little character? Now they're just pulling for money at this point. You know that?
I disagree. I disagree. I
Yo,
think there's
Rogue
so
One
much.
was perfect.
Obi-Wan, I feel like
I
is
don't
the
need to
most,
see a standalone movie
I
for
love
Han
being
Solo.
interrupted.
I don't need to see a standalone. You know what?
I love being interrupted.
Well, good, but you know what? I don't need to see these standalones for all these people.
I need to see it if it adds to the lore. Rogue One added to the lore. Agree?
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Heavily. It wasn't just like
Heavily.
an individual.
Heavily. It added to the lore. Obi-Wan is probably the most... I'm trying to think of the right word. Obi-Wan is the most... Probably one of the most important characters of the
Right, but I
entire,
have no question
entire
what he
lore
did.
of Star Wars. And we have a nice 20-year gap where we're really not sure what he was up to.
He was a hermit for that gap. Even
How do you know?
We don't know.
because his Luke's uncle told us. Uncle Ben told us. Yeah, the hermit.
That dude's a fucking liar. He called him some old crazy codger. That's what he said. He's like, don't listen to that crazy old man, Luke. Blah, 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 blah.
Because he knows that.
Dude,
you know,
can we
things
talk about
got a
how
little crazy.
horribly Owen and Beru aged from Revenge of the Sith to New Hope, it was 19 years. They aged like 40. Like when Obi-Wan brought the baby to them on the hill at the end of Revenge of the Sith, they look like they're in their 20s. They look like dog shit. Like Luke must have been a horrible, stressful child. They look like dog shit now. Like that kid. Oh my god. I was watching, they did a movie commentary for A New Hope, and it was, it got to the, they were like, there's a Collider did, and they were just sitting there watching. It gets to the part where it's like, Luke was gone with Obi-Wan, and they're in the kitchen, like Owen and them. It's like, like, where's Luke or whatever? Oh, that damn kid. He's gone? Let's fuck.
Oh, jeez.
Uncle Owen. Like, they just, like, there's not a lot, there's some thin walls in that little moisture farm there that they got there. It's like
a moisture farm.
That's what they call it. It's a moisture farm.
It's a moisture farm in the bedroom.
Oh my god. He's gone. Let's fuck.
Oh, shit. It's 1:30, man.
Dude, so
Jeez.
We're about 1:57:30 in. You want to wrap it right at 2?
No, wrap it
Might as well wrap it.
We're
Boom, right at
balls
2.
deep in
Right
this.
at
This
2.
will leave you off.
So,
Nice.
anything else real quick? We went balls deep into Star Wars for a little bit. Star Wars just it's like a symbiote. It just kind of takes hold and you just can't stop.
No, you can't.
The power feels good.
Jeez.
What about my uncle? Did you give him a chance? Did you? Now we're into Spider-Man.
Woo!
Shit, now we might as well start talking about Spider-Man.
No.
Shut up.
Star
Shut up.
Wars.
Get out.
Get out.
Star Wars.
No.
Are we all going to trickle out? Like, just leave you?
No, we're
Leave him by himself?
we're trickle. What?
Trickle out, just slowly walk
Real
away.
quick. Which is better, in your opinion, Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2?
But Spider-Man, are we talking Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man?
No, Spider-Man 1 or 2
Tobey Maguire?
of the trilogy.
Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Oh.
I still think Spider-Man 2 is the better movie.
No.
Let-
Spider-Man 1. Mainly because I remember seeing that in theaters when I was like 6.
Dude, the hype was so fucking real. Like, when that movie was coming out, because it's like, we did have X-Men already, and X-Men was awesome.
That was awesome.
But it's like, this was the first solo hero movie that we were like, in our generation, we weren't alive when Batman came out, like 89, Michael Keaton. But it was like, this is the character that I read the most probably when I was a kid. I read more comic books about Spider-Man.
Cartoon shows.
Dude, the
Before
animated
that.
series of
Animated-
Spider-Man, the like original from the late 90s.
OG.
Oh.
Well, hold
There's
on.
so many
Keep it in
quotable...
your pants.
Huh?
Just keep it in your pants,
Oh, it's
Oh,
out.
no.
It's gone. There's so many quotable and just amazing moments of that trilogy. Even in 3, there are parts of 3 that I like. Then the back half of the movie just turns into complete and total dog shit.
Yeah.
When you rush Venom in, but just like the part that I like in the back half of Spider-Man 3 is when Harry, as the new Goblin, and Peter are working together. That was pretty
Take
cool.
down Venom. Yeah. That was cool. I like that.
You like what?
What you just said.
What you just said. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you said Venom.
No.
I was like, you did not
Oh,
like
God.
Venom, did
Yo,
you?
that
What a
definitely killed that
disrespect.
actor's career for a little bit. And then,
Topher
like, the
Grace
next
has
thing,
not been in much.
next thing I seen him in was Interstellar. Honestly.
That's right. He was in Interstellar.
Very, a
Son
minor role,
of a
but he was in it.
bitch. But
He's working his way back, kind of like
I don't
how
think it was his
Michael
fault.
Keaton is.
It wasn't his
No,
fault.
it's
They just
not.
rushed
the
the
writing.
shit out of that character. It's
Yeah.
like, Sam Raimi, dude, this is what's cray-cray. I'm sorry, never do that again.
What made you think that was cool to say?
So Sam Raimi wanted it just to
2
be
points, Alex.
Sandman, and the little thing with Harry Osborn. I think that would have been perfect because I liked Sandman for most of that movie up until the
Yeah, a
end.
little backstory he had too. I mean,
And he was
Touching.
planning, even with Spider-Man 3, how the bad reception. Spider-Man 4 was in production. It took too long, and they just canned it and said, let's remake it. Although, it's one of those movies that I would have loved to see, because he was going to do Vulture, John Malkovich.
Michael Keaton as Vulture was good.
Oh, I mean, that's awesome. But like
That's
back
Spider-Man.
then,
Oh my gosh! I think the reason why I like the new Spider-Man so much is it just
Fucking Michael
played
Keaton.
into the MCU so well.
well, that
The way how it started off too.
God
Michael
damn,
Keaton was a
right?
great Vulture, and just things are
Are we
continuing.
going to go over 2 hours?
Yes, we are. We're over 2 hours, okay? But we ain't gonna talk too much on this, you know.
yeah, like look, but
And we got pull chocks.
The
We got pull chalks on this.
I've never heard that phrase. Pull
Yeah,
chalks.
well, pull chalks, you know. Pull chalks. Chalks are out of the tires. Airplane can now go off.
Oh.
Air Force reference. I got
Pull
you
chalks.
now.
Or any-
You can have
reference.
trailers or car.
Like on a boat, you know, chalks on a boat, you know. Hey,
Yeah.
pull chalks when you got drive it in the water.
But
I don't know.
Spider-Man-
I'm not a boater. I don't know these things.
I'm not a boater. Just a motor boater. All right,
yeah.
but in the end of Spider-Man 3, when they're working together, one of the coolest parts is when Mary Jane's falling. Because there's always, I feel like there's a scene in each Spider-Man movie where Mary Jane's falling. But Spider-Man's at the end of his glider, and they're going down. And it's like, you know, you hear Harry's just like, "Go, buddy! I got her!" And like they're just working together. It's cool. But I tell you what, as shitty as that movie is, when Harry dies at the end,
Oh, so?
that pulls
That was
at your
deep.
heartstrings. Because let's be honest, like, I'm sorry, and I don't think she was a great Mary Jane, but Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire, they got good cry faces.
They
it's
sold
like
it.
they make you. It's like, oh, that's believable. They're a bunch of babies. Like, although his cry face when he's on the bridge in Spider-Man 3, when Harry makes Mary Jane break up with
Yeah.
him, he's just standing there with the ring. Like,
Noteworthy.
that was so stupid. Why not just go on the bridge? Like, Harry can't hear you from here. It's like, hey, I'm supposed to break up with you, but Harry's telling me to do this, but you're Spider-Man, so go kick his ass. Like, there's no need for me to fake this. Just go kick his ass. You're Spider-Man. God damn it. Like, seriously.
What if she was wearing a wire? You don't know.
Again, you're Spider-Man. Go kick his ass. Because what happens at the end? He goes back to his hotel or his loft or whatever, throws a pumpkin grenade in his face. That was pretty badass. Like when he throws it and he just
Right past his head.
and throws it back. That's awesome. Best scene in the trilogy, though? What do you think? Best scene in the entire trilogy?
In the entire
Do
trilogy.
you think it's the train scene?
Train scene, Doc Ock.
It's
I
either
like
the
that
train
one.
scene
When he's
or
holding
the
the thing
final.
back with no mask on.
Ooh.
Yes.
That or the Green Goblin at the end where Green Goblin's just tearing him to pieces in that like just broken up like brick and mortar.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Well,
And he gets ready to kill him with the thing, and
he's
he's like,
kicking
oh,
Spider-Man's
Oh.
ass. Like he's killing him. And then when he talks up, he's like, Mary Jane and I, we're gonna have a hell of a time. And then his mask is just ripped shreds. He stands up and he's shaking. Like, you could beat him up. You could beat him down to his bare bones. But you bring people he loves into the equation. Whoa. It's like, I want to see someone threaten the new Aunt May and see what shit goes down with this new Spider-Man. Like, the
You know, Tony Stark's gonna get involved.
It's like, kid, why don't you stay home for this?
I'm about to lay some iron down.
He's got friends now. We know he's got friends.
It's like, have you met Thor?
Am I an Avenger? It's like some just like cat burglar. It's just opens the doors like, or he's backing up like, look guys, it's cool, and he backs right into Thor. It's like he's just touching him from
feels
behind.
his long flowing locks.
What's that? That reminds Deadpool.
Yeah.
He reaches back, grabs
like,
it. Dad. Deadpool is so perfect. God, that's the one character I would, even though they would. You think the MCU will ever have an R-rated movie that they'll like Fox, like they'll go. You know what? Let's just do it.
I mean, if they want to do a
It's
Defenders
Disney.
movie.
It's Disney though. It'd be so hard
They
to get
did
them to
Rogue
do it.
One.
hard, but
Yeah, but there
Rogue
wasn't
One,
like there
you're-
wasn't
they're
a
saying,
fuck.
hey,
There
we're
wasn't
getting
a
there.
there wasn't a fuck. There wasn't a nudity. There wasn't gore.
Disney's
It was
gonna have
dark.
to do it if they want to expand the.
I think right now all the
Yeah.
R-rated stuff that Disney's doing is their Netflix shows. Because those are pretty R-rated. Like Luke Cage, they straight up say the N-word. Like,
Yes.
and there's sex scenes out the wazoo. Like, somebody said, like, they interviewed, it might have been Kristen Ritter, was Jessica Jones.
Mhm.
It's what's different between you guys and the movie? It's like we're superheroes who can have sex. That's what it is. It's the superheroes who can have sex.
Yeah.
It's like you're never gonna see Cap bone someone. Like you're never gonna see him go out on a shield, so to speak. I mean, Iron Man maybe, because we kind of had that scene in the first Iron Man where he was, but it didn't show anything.
That was before Disney too.
It was.
Yeah.
That was Paramount.
Bam.
Crazy. Paramount. Those schmucks. They had it all, and then they gave it away.
It's like
Here you go.
They gave it away right before Avengers. Like Avengers was the last. Actually, Iron Man 3 might be the last movie that the Paramount logo came on, just because it had already sold before Avengers because the Disney thing was there. They just had the right to put the logo on there as a distributor. But dude, they just did not see where this thing was going.
Not at all.
But
Now it's in real good hands.
I'm happy it's with Disney because what's Paramount doing right now? Not Marvel movies. I bet you right now there's just the president of Paramount just in a stupor, just a drunken stupor, popping Viking.
No, they sold that whole MCU for a crap
just
load of
watching
money.
the MCU on. Thing is, there was only 3 movies in, so it couldn't have been that much.
It
what
was
if it's like,
I need a back check. I need to see how much that was sold for. I want to say
Damn,
that was close to.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
600 billion?
600 billion. Star Wars was sold for $4 billion. That was a steal. Only $4 billion for all the toy, movie, comic book, all those rights for Star Wars. They've already made it back and more.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. So, how much
Oh my God.
did
I saw
Paramount
this figure though. I saw this number somewhere.
get
400 million.
for Marvel? You think you've seen this before?
I think I've seen this figure before. I just threw out a number. I'm wrong.
Paramount to end relationship with with Marvel in 20. This was a 7-year ago article. Paramount to end relationship with Marvel in 2012. Disney will distribute Iron Man 3 and the Avengers. Let's see here. The Mouse paying a premium to get cracking on its $4 billion invest. So it's just like Star Wars. And I think they're
okay. Yeah.
I think they're
they're
Well,
well
it's
off.
fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. But thing is, Paramount, if they're not making it, like, have you seen a bunch of ginormous blockbusters from Paramount recently? So that means they're putting money somewhere. So they may have lost it by now that we know. And the president's just sitting there with a glass of scotch and just popping Viking and has the first 3 MCU movies that they did distribute just on the repeat. Like, look what we had.
No, they could have all retired comfortably.
Oh, but God,
Just call it quits.
but I'm
after that.
happy. I'm happy it's with
And
Disney.
Paramount.
Now
Oh,
Disney just needs to get the rights to DC so that they're in good hands as well, and and then do the crossover to end all crossovers. See, it's gonna happen eventually. I say in 25, 30 years, when the superhero genre is just like, it's like the end of the toothpaste, like people are just like, not that probably poor.
That's not what he was thinking. I don't think.
When it just gets to the end when it's just it's getting to the end of the line, and even the people that are into superhero movies, like, it's starting to get stale. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like oversaturation. It's like, all right, Marvel calls up DC. It's like, you want to just go for one last bang, try to make as much money as we can. That would be the biggest movie of all time. I'm not kidding you. It would make more money than any movie
Or
in history.
DC representatives go up to Marvel. They knock on the door. It's like,
We need help.
it's like, are we doing this? Oh yeah, dude. The writers' room for that.
It'd probably be horrible at the first week, though.
The first week, it's like, oh my God, yes and yes.
So
and then,
we're all in agreement Marvel's going to win. Fuck you. No,
We got a Superman and a Batman.
The Batman. Ooh, the Batman.
who would be the equalizer?
Not Batman Beyond Batman.
Not characters.
Here's the thing.
Not
How old are they gonna
characters.
be? No,
I mean,
I know.
People are going to be old at this point. You also got to think of that. How old are they going to be? These people are going to be old.
No, it'd be
Superheroes.
completely new actors.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck it.
Crap.
Fuck it.
We want to get into that.
Somebody would have to be the equalizer.
See, I think the movie would need to go sort of like Batman versus Superman.
Who is
I
the
said they need to
equalizer
do
and all
it. They all need to fight at one point.
The Joker and Loki, just teaming up and calling some of this. Loki.
That's
Jokey.
Loker.
Jokey. Loker or Jokey?
Loker. I like Jokey better.
Jokey.
But here's the thing. I think there's gonna have to be scenes where they do fight.
Trickle out.
But I feel like you have to have two villains from each side that bring them together, put their differences aside, they work together. Imagine which would be cooler.
Ultron and the symbiote, and then that's the same.
I was gonna say
Thanos
and Darkseid with the gauntlet and the mother boxes. Holy fucking shit! Balls deep. Now just imagine which would be cooler, seeing them all fight each other
or seeing them work together.
The lineup, though.
Dude, the team shot.
We talk about how the Infinity War team shot's gonna look.
Dude, panorama of Marvel and DC. Just
Captain America takes the first step forward. League, Avengers, assemble. It just breaks itself, motherfucker. It's perfect. Oh my god. Well, let's wait for Ian to come back from the pisser, and we'll close this mother out.
But dude, who would be the one to say it back to Cap? Would it be Superman?
No, Wonder Woman.
That'd be dope.
It's like Cap says, Avengers, and she goes, assemble. How did you know what I was going to say? You're not even with us. It's like, you don't even know what we're going to say. Or it's like Flash, the chemistry between Flash and Spider-Man. Because they're both that kind of goofy kid of the group.
That'd be cool.
Just,
Flash and Spider-Man?
Yeah, if they're working, the new Flash.
Spider Flash. What is up with these names?
I
don't like these names.
Spider Pig. Flash Man.
Spider Pig.
Flash!
Spider Pig.
But just
Savior of the universe.
I was just telling him, imagine that, because they end up working together. Thanos and Darkseid are together, so the two, Marvel and DC has to work together in their and they imagine the team shot, and then Cap takes the first step forward, looks to the left. League, Avengers, assemble.
But the League, they don't assemble.
They don't.
No, he's just bringing them. He's bringing them in. You step out that door.
Plus,
you are
Justice League has a space station. The Avengers have a facility.
They don't need no goddamn space station.
Well, they had one.
But he says it, and then Flash and Spider-Man are standing next to each other, and they do a Bill and Ted, oh my god! It's like Spider-Man and Flash, the one that goes, is this a team shot? I think this is a team shot. And then Deadpool drops in, superhero landing, and Thanos.
Wait,
what?
This can only happen in a cartoon. There's no way you can get this on the big screen. It's never gonna happen.
You gotta get
last thing. Deadpool drops down. He does this superhero landing, and then he takes both his katanas and fucking do this. And that's the one fuck they get.
And then
Logan pops out of the ground
says,
as a skeleton.
Language.
Or no, Deadpool lands, flips the swords out. Cap goes, holy, and Stark goes, language. Let's get them, boys. And on that note,
gosh,
wow, that was a
hefty one.
That was a good one. We covered a lot of ground. We went about through everything.
That was hefty.
Well, a lot of Star Wars.
That was only 3. I fucked up.
Too many.
5.
All right, let's stop with that.
All right, I tried to do it again. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in with our buddy Ian. We had a lot of fun. We hope you guys did too.
If you guys say something, if you guys really enjoyed having a guest on the podcast, let us know about that stuff in the comments. And if you really liked Ian, let us know. We'd love to have him back on some more. If you didn't like him, you'll never see his face again. Don't worry. This is all going to be based on your guys' reactions.
And don't forget, guys, you can go to iconiccomic.com. We have our t-shirts are on sale. You can get your own official Iconic Comic merchandise. And
seriously, guys, I can't stress enough how
important.
I didn't want to say
word.
How important it's going to be for our channel going forward to if you want, because I will be honest, we'll be straightforward. We're not able to record as much as we used to when we started. Life gets in the way, but we're never going to stop. All right, but if you want us to do this more consistently, go check out the Patreon. Be a small supporter. $1, $2, you can still get tons of cool rewards, including early access to videos like our commentaries, which have been
and our podcasts like this.
And our podcast. So this podcast is going to be up for our patrons early. So thanks for supporting for you guys.
All right. So for those of you on iTunes or Google Play, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And for those of you on YouTube, make sure you guys like,
comment,
share,
subscribe,
so that you don't miss anything from this channel.
That's a mouthful there.
So make sure you guys stay tuned.
Stay iconic. You doing this with us? Let's do it.
Sure.
Cue music.
Holy Grail.